gentleman on the left and the handsome-looking gentleman on the right, Sean Katina.
Ooh.
They got their new logos right there, baby. Shout out to the Chilean Nightmare who's been working overtime on this
guy's
new
long
logo.
the whole market. Let's go.
Killing it, bro. The Katina Man is long. I love it. Yeah, the Katina Man does his thing, baby. All right, Joseph, send him off, baby.
All right. I mean, a great day, guys. It's Monday. Love Mondays. Go outside and enjoy, especially if you had a solid session.
Take care, guys.
Here we go.
Thank you, everybody. It just occurred, I didn't even realize you were wearing the IEX hoodie. I
sponsored.
Well, I thought we were joking about the IEX. It was because
some makeup on me.
The bolo or the cup that I was drinking out of. I had no idea you were.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They're on the.
Makes more sense now.
Yeah.
See, like, these are the little things. I'm apparently
What
not
makes
that.
more sense? Oh, like you're just noticing now. Oh,
Love to trade. Some people are still probably matriculating over from the other chat. But yeah, I'm buying the dip and we're getting to VWAP. They're reporting after the bell today. I don't know if they can qubits it or D-wave it, but let's see what they can do. The market is back to the market is back to almost 4%, which is where we started things when we sat down this morning and brought you guys the morning show. And there was that dip early on, profit taking, whatever you want to call it, but the market has managed to recover, get back into some of those highs. So why not? The only things that aren't strong, volatility, gold, and believe it or not, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is looking a little bit weak. As a matter of fact, I just saw Mara break the low of the day just now, which is a wild one. It's like it's the complete antithesis of today's action. And I'm like, I should be shorting this thing. I was long and early above VWAP. It was working, and when it broke down, it should have been a short because it broke underneath the volume-weighted average price. I'm only in Rigetti right now. I'm out of the Apple long, out of the Nvidia long, and yeah, this market, what an unbelievable, I guess, tariff relief day, I suppose we're going to call this, or whatever we're calling today, because the fact that it was bought up almost everywhere across the board, I think, is a very good sign. It's only one day. That's fair. But yeah, it's better than the alternative.
Yes, sir. What's up to everybody? What's up to my lovely wife as well? And look, we're still long Palantir, man. We ain't going to no clubs. It's $3 now. There it goes, man. Nice little bottom pick right there on that play. So we're pretty happy rolling with Palantir here, guys. And then hopefully we can get this just a little bit higher and get some out. So we brought it all the way back into this level. We're also now long the futures as we took 65, then we took 65.50 right there. And now we go higher up on the futures. So we're still into that one. We're still in SMR, which has been sleepy, but this reports after hours as well. So that should be a good one coming through there. Palantir, we're already in that. We talked about that. And then Nvidia. High a day, and we're long. There it goes, man. $2 winner for Nvidia. So we come back to you guys. Neil's in Rigetti, but so he doesn't have, Rigetti's not going to be the same price as these stocks. But right now, Palantir, $3, Nvidia, $2, futures, 40 cents, and SMR, 8 cents. So far, so good here. I'm really looking at the futures to keep going higher now. We're back to that 4% level. Let's see if we can continue that movement there as we get ready to rock and roll and bring you what's going to be, how do we match that midday show? We'll find out if we can do that right here. Hopefully,
well, we're not showing any videos of dudes of knocking out other dudes.
No, we'll focus on
because we're not smart enough to actually get caught on camera knocking somebody out.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll show you some videos of some profitable trades. But yeah, we'll show you. I can show you lots of videos if you guys want to do that. All my videos will probably be kid related. As well, unless we look back at. I feel like Al Bundy, when you're married with children, you talk about Polk High. It's like, hey man, when I was playing football, I ran for like 4 touchdowns all in the same quarter. That actually did happen, but yeah, that is.
But the sad part about it is we're old enough. There's nobody has video of all the crap when we were in high school.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Well,
like there's like the Hill to Leitner doesn't exist.
Oh, well, that, yeah.
There was one dude in our high school who
Neil
actually
passed one to me. We played basketball.
But it was a game winner. It was the baseball pass. I am not making this up, but there's no video of it because it was a long time ago. It was a baseball pass right to the top of the key, drawn up. It was a catch, turnaround jump shot, just like Hill to Leitner.
Jimmy Good.
Hand to God.
We were good on that one.
It was a great play. But there was one dude in our high school who did have a video camera because that's cell phones back then.
Yeah, that's right. I say that to my kids all the
Dude,
time.
he had a bunch of. He had the dunk off on video. He
I
had
just
like.
carried this around everywhere
He
with
had the
him, man.
pep rally where our good friend dressed. We had a pep rally. I don't remember. I don't know.
What's this story? I don't know.
Okay, I don't remember why Bala was in a Santa Claus suit during the pep rally.
Okay.
But he was in a Santa suit, and he was a leaper, like he was a volleyball player.
And then he dunked in that suit, or he tried to?
Okay,
Is that
so
what it
he
was?
tries to dunk. Now, this dude can dunk, but he tried to dunk in the Santa Claus suit.
He can dunk? I didn't know he
And I
could.
don't think he anticipated how difficult it was going to be to dunk in the suit.
Ah.
And he got rejected by the rim, and Santa Claus fell hard on his tailbone. To his credit, like he was hurt, but to his credit, he popped up and kind of went on with the whole thing. Shout out to you, Bala.
Yeah.
Not the new, whatever. It was pretty impressive. He could dunk.
Could he? Okay,
but,
I didn't know he could.
Like he was a good volleyball player.
Yeah. No. Hey, if he could dunk, I mean, that's great.
He couldn't play.
But I do now I do remember that. I remember Hoondert and everything like that had some pretty funny things. Neil and I, of course, went to high school together, which we just graduated, I think, 7 or 8 years ago. So it's that's why the no video camera thing is surprising to me.
Well,
but
hold on, you got to finish. So this dude Hoondert he's talking about, this dude rolls up to the dunk off in Chuck Taylor's, jorts,
yeah, he still dunked on
and
everybody.
a dashiki.
Needless to say, he's the white guy.
With like with the long hair. I think I don't forget what he ended up doing, but good dude, man. I used to play baseball with him, like.
Yeah.
But he was throwing down too. It was legit. He didn't. I thought he should have won. I didn't win, but like I thought he should have won. And they gave it to Ivan, and that was kind of cheesy, but. Shout out to Ivan Robic, but
Shout out to random people.
shout out to random people in high school where there's no video.
Shout out to the guy that tried to hire Joe away from us from quantumtradingai.com or whatever.
Do you have the card still?
Of course he has it, man. The guy sent his resume in already. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying it's a little.
This guy's pushing
it was
billions
a little bit shady. It was a little bit like when Joe told us the story. I was like, yeah, that dude was. I mean.
Well, as soon as he sees me, he's like, I ran into this guy that was pushing QBTS. I was like, well, I was long at $8. I mean, and that was on screen. But I didn't have billions of shares like this guy did, and running the stock out of there. So nice watermark. Oh, you mean at the bottom? Yeah, so there is no place that you can follow the trades during the middle of the day, unfortunately.
Watermark?
We did, I don't know, someone said in the chat, nice watermark. I think you mean the thing on the bottom there. Yeah, we've changed it. I mean, that looks nicer now. I like it. I mean, we talked about the shininess on your head.
It's got ETH. So
What was that?
in the corner, Solana.
Whoever wrote that one, welcome to the new look Fockles.
Fox.
Welcome, Fockles. Welcome, Fox.
Oops.
You see? Not only traders, but we'll also be a little bit of, quality insurance.
So which
assurance
crypto
here,
does
QA.
it do there? It's got.
What's up,
Solana.
Fockless?
Where's Bitcoin?
There's a Solana's at the bottom now. We've got some PLTR.
I'm waiting for it
just
to-
in my ear. That's how they spell folks in Chilean, apparently I'm hearing. Right now.
That's cool. We get to see what crypto's doing.
All right.
Let's go to.
Okay, without any further ado,
Sharif.
let's go see what the big man with a plan is up to. Hey, sure, you can't steal my bit, man. The whole looking for tires, that was supposed to be my thing. Now this guy's looking for tires. I remember how I was talking about making tires? But anyways, I only sent them because out of all the work that I did, and Sharif's great at Facebook Marketplace. I went there, I did all that kind of work as well. And I only sent them the quote from Costco because no matter all of the work that I did, no, seriously, all of the work, spending days and days doing it, Costco still had like the best prices. And I didn't wind up doing it because I needed to get it changed, so I got it somewhere else. Problem is, for special order, it takes like 3-4 days. I just didn't want to wait that long. You know, what, 3 or 4 days? Come on, time is money. But at the end of the day, they had great price. Yeah, best everything, man.
That's where I got the rims
Unlimited, all the
twice,
repairs.
But I had to get somebody that had a Costco membership though.
Yeah. So I just wanted to send him the price so he could have a judgment there. I feel tires are kind of. I think you always want to buy good tires.
Yeah, it's one of those things worth spending on.
All right, 211 now.
Sorry, Sharif.
We can't keep Sharif waiting for too much longer over here. He's got to go make some tire purchases. All right, so it's what I guess you need new all seasons. Is that what it is? Summer tires? Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. He has a tire story. Don't we all have tire stories? Right now, I am not tired. We are ready to go. So let's get over to the screen with Sharif.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, everyone, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys are locked and loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get those tickers up there is to join Joseph and I on the midday show and get into the chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day. But only subscribers can vote, and only subscribers can engage with us in the chat. So make sure you're liking, subscribing, and sharing. Here's a look at all four major averages. Obviously, very positive today on the back of the China tariff news. The NQ taking the cake, up 3.8%. A good day for the ES as well, up 3%. So they're both above that mark. Small caps continuing to benefit as well. The Russell 2000 about 3.4%, and the Dow, the worst of the four major averages, but still great nonetheless, up 2 2/3. Great look for all four major averages today. Nvidia, the number one ticker as decided by you guys, right back up above 120 bucks and up nice 5% of the day, trading near highs, obviously. Moving up on the temporary reduction and the suspension of these tariffs between China and the United States. Nvidia obviously got exposure in a bit of a different way too, guys. They have those export restrictions that they need to concern themselves with.
Exporting, eh?
Yeah, there's some issues.
Yeah.
There's still some things that have to get ironed out, obviously. And these guys have to report. Like, that's the cool thing is we don't have Nvidia reporting yet, and we get all this exuberance, and there's no fundamentals yet. But like everything else, you know, like you gapped up. What was weird about Nvidia is it was one of the smaller, you know what, let me pull up Nvidia on daily chart on eSignal, because ours doesn't have like the split adjust. There you go. It looks a heck of a lot better, a little bit more clean on the daily chart. No, these guys were only up 4% early, so it was almost like they're playing a little bit of catch up. The only concern I have is here. You're at 123, which is the local high from March. So that March high is pretty much at the 123 zone. I played like one trade. It was just, I had one mean reversion in Nvidia. I got some out of VWAP and then held some for it to test that high. But there's your 123. That's your resistance on the daily. Above that, I think you're in like stage 2 breakout. Otherwise, I'm waiting for the chance to get back into VWAP. You know, I missed that opportunity on a reload because I wasn't at my desk. And you know, obviously, it would have been a good one. I think it could be a VWAP move back in here. For the afternoon. But that 123, big level on the daily chart, I think you can get a chance to maybe pull back off of it. And once it goes, bye-bye. I think you're breaking that and making a move before they eventually report. And it wasn't like they were the strongest chip name percentage-wise. You know, they're like the strongest on the move right now, but they're not the biggest percent move up. There's a few names that are up 8-9%, like Lamb's up, I think, that much, and Micron's up that much, and maybe ARM or something like that. But yeah, they're playing some catch up there, Nvidia.
I actually made not a mistake. It was actually a good thing today. I actually logged into the portfolio there and found out that we're getting pretty close, within a couple percentage points of highs on the account, which is mean we did dip by some stuff, and we're helped out by Palantir getting higher as well. But we're also being helped out by Nvidia. Nvidia right now, a really nice move, man. And I mean, you know, those of you that watched the show, like we were in just, like I never know if the pre-market lows are gonna hold, so I did take a shot right there, and we wind up L right there early. So we take a shot in the first 5 or 6 minutes, and look, it was good. Like only to have taken it all out there than not have worried about it dripping down. But anyways, out, take the L. Then we have one more out right there, and then we just bought again off of 120 because. And unfortunately, we didn't reload there, which could have been something. We were watching out for Palantir, and we'll talk about that never because not on the list. But, you know, we were waiting out for this. 120 looks like it wants to hold there, and it did hold today. So just another key level there for Nvidia. Definitely something to have watched out for. We got right back to highs, got some out to 50, got some out to 50 again. So right now it's $1.80 in the money, sure, fine. We don't have the full load going on there, but we do have a decent amount. Sorry, we do not have a decent amount left. We have about, like, I'd have to go back and see. Like, I've traded thousands of Nvidia shares today, and I don't have even 100 shares left. So I'm going to say like under 5% or so left of this position for Nvidia. Looking to put some more on. The most recent position for me is the TQQs. And that was a buy there on a 65, just pull back into VWAP. And then I was just like, enough is enough, 65.50, let's take it. And that we've been rocking with that so far. So that's going to be my biggest position. And then Palantir, which we don't have on board here, which we'll talk about afterwards. This is my biggest position right now, share size wise, as we've just ticked up back into the high of the day. And again, I'm going to keep saying that, and I understand it's not the high. The high is when we opened, but that was such a dramatic move. These local highs right here, I'm kind of trading these as the highs. Like if we break these levels that we sort of 1, 2, 3, 4 touches on, and I know we're on Nvidia, so we could do the same thing for that. It's the same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like we need to break above here. The only thing about Nvidia, which I really like, is we are already above some of those pre-market levels, right? And so Nvidia really strong there today. Congratulations, everybody that bought this sub 100 or even close to $100. It's been a great rally back in this name as they climb back to, I think, number 3 market cap wise now. So there it goes up to $123. Great job for Nvidia. You know, we thought it was sort of, I remember punching long last week at 115 when that news came out, and then now we get higher up today, and it's just, you're always going to have memories of this name back down near that $100 mark. So I think Nvidia continues to win. I mean, along with this next name.
Do we see a sub 100 ever again?
Ever again? Yeah, when it splits, probably.
Oh, that's well, you know what? Okay,
so that means no.
Yeah. No, when it's
slow point saying no. But ever again, I don't know. So I think this Chinese stuff could be fugazi. Like I mean, nothing's been, no pen to paper, no nothing. Just Trump talking, which is fine, and that's fine. But you know, I just want to see it get down. 90-day pause, right? Like we're looking at. It was what, June? It was July 8th, I think. Adair and I, whatever that first 90 days, we were talking about it there on the recap show on Friday. So it's like, I just want to see, let's get through it all. There's supposed apparently 28 more deals to be announced. Like, there's a lot happening now. So I think we're still early days in this.
If the China thing holds, I think you have for the last time, but that's an if, which doesn't really count.
I mean, like, China could come out right now and say, nah, this is all whack. Like, this is not true.
You know what's not? I know what's not fugazi?
The Model S?
Well, I don't know.
I like the Model S, right, Sharif? The Model S?
I was going to say Tesla above 300. It's real and it's beautiful. Well above it.
It's real and it's spectacular, Neil. 318. I know what you were going for, my man. I got you. All right, guys, 6 2/3% today for Tesla. So shares of auto and auto parts are trading higher after the U.S. and China obviously agreed to a temporary reduction in most tariffs. This could obviously alleviate some of the supply chain uncertainty that Tesla has been suffering from. Separately, Elon took to X, guys, to show off the new full self-drive update. And guess where he actually took it? LAX, a notoriously busy and chaotic place. And this is what happened here. Joseph, cue it up, baby. So here is the FSD going through a whole bunch of different traffic. Let's see how it's able to park itself, offload the driver. Now there's a car blocking its way. Can it actually get out? I mean, we'll have to wait and see over here. Good look. So there's 2 lanes that it just crossed. This is all fully autonomous, guys. This is not a bad look at all. So a lot of people have been really praising the new FSD, especially the latest updates, obviously, as we get a lot closer to that robo-taxi launch. And you got to assume this is the platform that it's going to be on right now, guys. So Elon taken to his social media platform to pump his other company.
Look, that's impressive, and I love it. But what always grinds my gears, everybody, you have indicators for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, people use your indicator. I never understand. Or the people that are like, they'll start to change lanes, and then they want to use the indicator. Like, you're already pulling. It's supposed to tell someone what you're going to do, not what you're already doing, which I can see when you're cutting in front of me. No, I'm just like indicators.
In driving.
No, like driving. Like, sorry, the signal indicators. I don't mean like the death cross. Those indicators are, I think, useful in a certain sense. But anyways, it's just one of my pet peeves because it bugs me to death. It's like, why are they on the vehicle for you not to use them in the most obvious scenarios? But, you know, to each your own.
It's a bad time to tell you that I don't indicate that often.
Yeah, you do. Don't, like...
I mean, if my wife can hop in the chat if she wants.
What, you don't, you're...
Nah, I mean, I'll use the indicators, like you said, when it's necessary, but generally speaking, I don't.
Look, if there's nobody around you and there's nobody, like you're not changing lanes and there's nobody behind you, like whatever. But I'm talking about a situation
like my wife
like
said,
there.
or just be you and never use it. See, even before I said it, because she's on delay.
No, but like if you're at the airport where it's busy, like people are coming in and out, like that's a situation. Lot, like parking, like you're gonna. Anyways, Tesla, absolute beast.
I want to get that
today, but only 6.5 when it was over 8 this morning. It's like, look, I didn't touch this one with a 10-foot pole because the dip buy for me was Apple. So you picked the one that you felt the best about that held, and it was not Tesla this morning. It ended up being Apple at 207. it could not hold on to 320. This is what I want to watch for the rest of the afternoon, the 320 level. If the buyers can get out and about, back above 320, you're going all the way to the February support, and that was $320. It cannot seem to hold above it. I think if you do that, then we get a second salvo to the upside and things start to look a heck of a lot better. So I want to see it breaking above 320. Otherwise, I'm a little bit bearish on it. I think a breakout's possible this afternoon, but at 4% up on the NASDAQ, I'm a little skeptical. Might just have to wait a couple of days on this. Tesla, for all of its move, there's a long way to go to get back. Forget about highs. You still have a while to go to get to like that 370 resistance and then the 440. So it's just it's like one step up so far on Tesla. That next step, get above 320, then we can start thinking about that 360 level. And it didn't do it today, so I didn't touch it.
Yeah, 317 and change. Yeah, no, I mean I use the blinkers all the time, but especially, I mean, highway driving is very important to do that. Some of those videos you see are pretty nuts. All right, so just coming into play here, looking over at Tesla. I mean, whatever, you can hear our opinions all you want. I mean, I'm just trying to look at, where the trade was possibly today. And yeah, the fall off early. I'm getting out of these futures, and we could talk about that, not now, but I was looking to see if we have NASDAQ on that list, but we don't. So it's just, I'm looking at this level right here again. Remember, I just talked about pre-market lows and highs and all that with Nvidia, and then we showed you a little bit of Palantir as well right there. But this level right there that broke the short, and then whoops. So that's kind of a level that was just held right there again, 321. So Tesla looks to me like a short right there until we break higher. And I'd give it about $1 up to 322 and maybe even 323, these pre-market levels, and the ultimate high there of 324. But I'm not sure you want to sit in front of it as it's doing that. It's more just a comment on the fact that we broke below the pre-market low there, and then we got right back up to it and then dropped out again. So yeah, I mean, I really like Tesla. I don't think there's anything wrong with the stock. Right now it's broken above. We talked about the base that it was having right here and then the break higher. So this is like, CMT 101. You won't find me taking that course, but right into here, 280 to 290, there's the base and there's the break. So I like it. It's above and it's starting to get a little bit higher. So there goes Tesla trying to get to highs again, up 7%. We'll see if it can get there. To me, though, it's a short at 321 against 323. So we'll see if that happens. Market's just fooling around now, just short of 4%. We asked Perplexity if it can go. It said undetermined. But right now, we're long the future. So my bet is made, per se. Which hopefully it's made. I don't know. All right. Oh, how long I'm planning to hold? Okay, what's up? Love to trade. I'll just get over this because you've asked it a couple times here. I'm going to go long at the bottom. We wrote down here on the sticky note today, SMR, and I know $17.50 to $18. Well, that's like we wrote that when it was up here. That's exactly where it fell into, but it just never got going. So with earnings coming at the end of the day, I am still going to try this one more time. I'm going to try to get down here, 1780. If we can buy that, I'm dropping this at 1750. If it breaks below 1750, it's done nothing all day. We've only taken profits, so it's fine. But right now we have about 40% left of this trade. Looking to get more if we do make a bottom there at 1780. Then we'll hold it to 1750 and see if it works. But earnings coming out, and now we have another runner. It's Rigetti. Neil's in this one.
Also earnings after bell.
Exactly.
Yeah, took the words out of my mouth. This one will be reporting after the bell today. Fantastic look for some of these quantum names as microchips all move up. Not to be outdone, obviously, by some of these quantum names. Just south of 9%, guys, but we were higher in the pre-market with a bit of a lower high look right now. We'll keep an eye out on this one as we wait for earnings after the bell. But very, very nascent still industry, guys. Don't expect profitability from these guys yet.
Heck no. Profitability? Talking about profits? We're not going to get any. We're not going to have profit. But you don't necessarily need anything crazy. So just to remember, QBTS, that's D-Wave.
Yeah,
and
heard of that one.
Of course, on Blue, Blue Ocean's the first thing that comes up in the drop down on the markets, but obviously it's not a Blue Ocean where we want to look at it right now. That's the overnight market. So there we go. QBTS had a monster run because they had blowout revenues, and I think sort of shocked everybody with the growth that they had. It did stall out at the highs, but very, very big move there. for QBTS. So that it gives you an idea of what Rigetti might do. And no, they're not; these are not the same thing. I'm not trying to pretend that they are, but notice how distinctly different this is. And you're just what I like about it, and I want to try to play long into the earnings, which implied move on Rigetti, 15%, 14.9% is the implied move on Rigetti. SMRs is 13, by the way, so Rigetti, I guess, gets them by the nose. But you're right at a potential breakout level. These are all in the low 20s, I think high teens to low 20s in terms of their short float. So with that out of the way, there was an all-day from the morning trend break that happened when it took out 11.4, and then it consolidated above there for the first time in the 55 to 60 range. So I started in there, and I want to add in front of it. If it loses that trend line or underneath this like 35, I want to jump out. Idea being, I've seen these things try to go into the close, and if it wants to follow QBTS, fantastic. But if it loses that break of trend line and can't hold support, I'll just jump out of it. Clearly, I don't know what the earnings are going to be, but I do feel like when you have this little creeping up higher lows and that break a trend, that you can see maybe some of the shorts that clearly have been leaning on this and winning since that initial push up. I could see them maybe covering and getting something out in case they get D-waved, right? Because of the move that D-wave had. So I want to be in the long, but I'm not going to just sit there holding it past that first support level I just showed. And I might take another shot at it, anticipating maybe some run at the end of the day.
I love how we just make it like now it's called D-waving, you know, like we need to get to that upside there on that play.
Go
so
D-wave.
yeah, look, man, I mean, I like this mom spaghetti play. We had bought this name when it dipped down into $6 or something and got out at 9 the very next day. But the cat came back. You did think it was a goner, but it came back, and it's still going upside right now as Rigetti. So it's trying to break out. Neil just talked about it. I like the quantum plays. You want to play the short on this. I think that would be a problem. Always the risk on earnings, in my opinion, is to the short, especially when there is a short side and a short float. So I would just watch out for Rigetti here. Again, a really nice base in all the quantum names, and then a blast. Like, why didn't it go below this 750? Like, there was lots of opportunities to get there, right? A lot of the Mag 7 names and the market in general broke through the 50 period and the 200 period moving averages easily. This name doesn't even come close to the 200 period moving average. So yeah, I really like Rigetti up here, and I think that's probably foretelling maybe a nice bid. I don't know if any of these names are buyout candidates or anything like that, but at some point, I think that, you know, someone's going to have to not going to have to, but I don't know. Like we talk about Google, and Google has enough quantum, but it's just, I don't know exactly enough of what all these different companies do that are different than each other, but this one seems to work. We'll see for earnings, definitely a risky play. But if you're going to go with momentum, it's trying to break out. Beautiful base. Now break higher above $11. You got to like Rigetti. You got to like Rigetti a lot more today than you like this next name, because this next one, we sort of...
Maybe the biggest disappointment.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I think so.
It was forewarned a little bit at there at 104, because when the market was up 4%, we kind of thought like, you know, why isn't Bitcoin kind of like breaking to those levels? But remember, the market's still a ways away from all-time highs.
True.
So for Bitcoin to now be $8,000 away from its all-time high, it doesn't seem to be.
Because you can't have everything, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why.
Can't have your cake and eat it too, although yesterday we had 2 cakes for Mother's Day. Like I tried to surprise the wife with one, you know, her favorite. She had red velvet, you know, with a little bit of, went to Farm Boy, you know what I'm saying? Farm Boy style.
Yeah.
So we got that, you know, and then we got a little bit of that. And then she went out and got, because she didn't know, I was trying to keep everything on the down low. I mean, then she went out and got her own little fresh cake there from Summerhill Market. Yeah, and then so we had 2 of those, but hers was really nice. Cream, berries, stuff like that. Don't worry, Joe, it wasn't a pie, so you don't have to worry.
It should have been a pie.
You don't have to.
You know what was really cool yesterday? Just last thing, we'll get to Bitcoin. The weather was so nice.
So nice.
My neighbors across the street, their daughter and I guess a couple of cousins, did like a lemonade stand.
Yes, good.
Because everybody was out doing their gardening, because that's what happens, right? Like everyone tries to do their gardening when it's gorgeous and it's Mother's Day, whatever. And they had these little wafer cookies to go with it. They had these little slime toys for the kids. I was like, okay, so for $1 you get a glass of lemonade. And you guys are giving away these wafer cookies.
No, the cookie should have been extra 50 cents.
And these little slime things. I'm like, okay.
No.
First of all, I got to give you more than $1 because you guys are losing money on this for sure. But it was so cute. I love little stuff like that. And anyways, let's talk about Bitcoin. It's a huge disappointment. Bitcoin, you suck today.
Yeah, down goes Bitcoin, guys, to the tune, well, IBIT anyway, to the tune of around 1.5%, taking out previous day's lows. We'll have to keep an eye out on this one. Didn't really react, as the boys were mentioning today, with the overall market move in the morning, continuing to kind of hold that $57 area here. Not much to say on this one, guys.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the daily chart, you could make the argument that really the turn, like that high is 109, but just look at it, like look at all the wicks up there. It's really like 106 resistance. So we kind of tag that, and it makes some technical sense. This is your test of the high, and this is your pullback. As long as we hold 98 something, I don't know, just call it 98,000. It's probably like 98.5 or some nonsense. Just call it 98,000. You hold 98,000, you're making a good higher low in this trend to try to break out the top. And it's not ridiculous that you retest the support in the low 90s. Maybe that's a part of it. We always talk about sometimes the things that hold up the best while we're in trouble are the ones that get sold off. If people were hiding in them or feeling comfortable with money rolled into it, and that's what happens. Now, ultimately, I had several longs in Bitcoin, but it was all at the same area, essentially 58.4, whatever that works out to. Don't at me, I don't always remember exactly the price. But once it lost that support, should it have been a reverse? There's absolutely no question about it. Like it literally accelerated at its exact price. Not the moment that I punched out, but the price underneath that 58.4. And look at it churn to the low of the day. I don't think it's going to go into free fall forever. So the first level, let's go back to a 15-minute chart. Like where I'm looking for a bit of a bounce play is down here at 57, like 57.25, which goes to Thursday's afternoon support level. That's where I think you can turn around on IBIT. That'll probably, I mean, it's going to be adjacent to 100K, but I don't think it's exactly 100,000, but it's in that range.
Getting out some more Palantir here. We're starting to break a little bit lower. I was just looking at the charts and just thinking, like, if we look at sort of a cleaner chart, welcome to eSignal here. It's a 15-minute chart. Just if we break below right now what we're dealing with, you know, we could fall back into this support again, which is 116.50. So I do want to be a little cautious of this. We just took some out there at 77, got a little bit of a bump up there on PLTR, and sort of doing the same thing here with Nvidia. As we're just trying to break a little bit, I don't think the futures are about to break or anything. It's just, remember, we've been playing short on this market every afternoon, pretty much. So I don't want to discount the fact that it could happen again with a break. We still got to get lower. We're still about 100, not 100, like 50 handles away from breaking that. And if we do, then it will be see you later. And I just don't want to see too much of this going the other way. So there's another out. Look at all these outs up top now. Long there, long. This is an out, right? Like we got, that's long 50, long O's, out 40s, back, not back, but adding to the long. And again, not averaging in, averaging up into the winner. Bought that and then whoops, right back up there to the highs. We've done really good getting out near those levels. But you see, now that I just see this, the more I look at this, the more I'm gonna be like, I gotta get out more. So we'll take a 91 out right there as well. All right, so it's altcoin season. That's the problem right now. And it's not a problem for me. I'm in altcoins, maybe even more than Bitcoin as far as individual coins that I'm holding. Bitcoin, we got IBIT, and we've already talked about not trading in and out of Bitcoin anyways. So, but yeah, it's a good one. Look what's been happening right here as we'll just look at some of the majors. I got out of the Ethereum that I was holding. All the ETH coins that I have no longer have any. We got them out at 25 flat, 25.5. So that was 2,550. That's the price I got out at. All right, and then we go downside right there. Binance holding up really well. Solana is really nice. We're gonna have to remember that 170 level. The one that's been the best one that we've talked about recently was XRP. So we talked about buying that at 2. I was in earlier, got out before the huge run up. I still think there's some love there for XRP. So what's up to Ripple and everything like that? XRP Army, that's in our chat. We like that one. Dogecoin with a big move, and then my guy over here, Cardano, I think got as high as 84 cents. Did not get any out of that. That might be the next one where I rotate back and forth. But yeah, Bitcoin holding 100, obviously going to be key for the bulls. So we'll see if it can do that. You really love those key dollar values, right? Even dollar levels. So we'll see if crypto and BTC can hold it. We're going to see it tonight. So we're going to see probably in the next hour and a half before we go over to the recap show. We'll see if that can hold. Right now, the market is giving a little bit back. So it's a good thing we did empty out of the clip a little bit there near the tops.
Eli Lilly gapped down aggressively to start the morning there on the back of this headline right here. Donald Trump taking to Truth Social yesterday to announce that he's looking at dropping prescription drug prices by 30 to 80% using the most favored nation plan. We won't get into the assess of that, but it was basically by executive order. Then we got this headline later on that Eli Lilly's Zepbound, one of their weight loss drugs, showed superior weight loss over Novo Nordisk's Wegovy in a head-to-head trial, helping this one bounce back up, guys. We're just shy of 3%.
Been slapping around Novo in results for a while now, so I think that shouldn't necessarily be surprising anybody. Novo's been getting its butt kicked if you look at the chart.
Ouch.
For a while. Well, I mean, okay, I don't want you to think that. All right, so I own a lot of Eli Lilly shares, so I should at least pull it up to say I'm not just saying this because I own Eli Lilly and like them a heck of a lot better. No, this is Novo. They've been getting their what kicks. I actually think Novo's turning into a value. Like, come on, man. Like, it might have been beaten up too far. But anyways, Eli Lilly seems like it's just a buy at 700 every single time. And what's weird about it is I have sold Eli Lilly in a few tranches, because that's a fun word to use, above 900, yet somehow I've only bought back at 700 once, which feels foolish. Like, it's just, I keep waiting for it to make some kind of a, bigger breakdown underneath 700 that I'm going to be that guy that gets it at, $5 bills when I reload. Ha, 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 look at me. I was smart. I was selling multiple times above 900, and I'm going to buy back at 500. And it keeps bouncing off 700, and I bought back once. So I'm still in that wait-and-see mode. It's under the 50, under the 200, but it just keeps getting bought up in that 700 level. At some point, I think you just got to, it's a long bull flag here on this daily chart for Eli Lilly. I think they're the best name. You're not going to be able to get me to say that they're not expensive, which is part of the reason why I keep waiting for it to break down lower to get more shares of. But then, I kind of feel the same way about Walmart. And then what happens usually in that case is, yeah, it's a little expensive, and then it gets back to the high, and you're like, oh, I didn't dip by half of what I wanted to because I thought it was too expensive. But that's how I feel. I've been waiting for it to break under 700 for the next buy, and I guess I'm waiting a little bit longer. Eli Lilly?
Yeah, Eli Lilly. Yeah, I mean, we had that opportunity this morning, and I was, when we saw that dip below 700, I was ready. We could rewind it probably to 845. I was like, I'm going to pick something up at 700 because we talked about how many times we've come into this level, and it's just held. And then this morning, it came right into not only this level, it came into these wick bottoms and held again. So it's kind of like no matter what story you're looking for, whether or not it's Uber tops, Uber's had good news behind it, right? And we also get, now today it looks like Uber's going to take it out. But we just had another story. That's great. I mean, this big, nice little middle finger to the shorts, I guess, on Uber is real nice. But I was just going to say, we came up to this level again right there, right into here, and we fell. And I was thinking oh gosh, we had just seen it again right there, but now the market's saying, nah, we'll help Uber out a little bit right there. So that does remind me of those Eli Lilly trades. And then, or just levels, not one's upside, one's downside. So XPI today, that was in the dumpster as well early. And again, another name, when we talked about what was good to short, and we were talking about healthcare and all that kind of stuff, does not look like that's going to be continued on as well. The major healthcare look is XLV there as well. We could call up UNH and all that, but it's these names have pushed higher right now into the
been happening in solar
afternoon. Well, we can look at FS.
FSLR just dropped $8.
Citigroup maintains no.
I haven't heard
CRM,
anything. I'm probably going to have to refresh.
152 to 146. Yeah, I mean, so we can look at TAN, which is the TAN ETF, which is a solar ETF. So we can see if it's specific to one potential name. I think FSLR is the largest holding in this space, but it is looking a little. Yeah, checking NPH, SEDG.
Enphase is down, but not as much.
Yeah, Solar Edge is another name here. Okay, yeah, so it has to be something
something's going on.
About that. Dara's over at the desk, so if there's anything that comes with solar, we'll have that. But a good look there, guys. Thank you for bringing that up as well. Sunrun, RUN, is another name that we could look at here. Yeah, wow, big gap down to 11 to 1040 right there. So yeah, probably looking over. I mean, I'm not seeing, we don't have the TV on over there, but I don't see Trump talking or anything maybe right now, but that could be what it is. And we'll just
First solar is still dropping. It's another $3 down now.
All right, well, I mean, it could be anything at this point, really. SMR just comes in, so we'll hit this because it's kind of you could essentially say this is a new position because we were getting lighter and lighter on that. We talked about getting out of 75% or so of it, maybe a little bit more. Then we basically add it back. Now we have that full position right in there, giving it to 1750 as SMR, again, not solar, nuclear energy name right here with new scale, small modular reactors, SMR, pretty creative name, but oh boy, here we go. Doesn't really matter, but this is the highest I've seen the TQ since I've been in it. Now breaking above $66. We talked about that one as well, so we'll see if that can get going. But right now, it's a nice play to the upside as there goes the futures. Let's go, man. We're watching Palantir. We've got SMR. We've got Nvidia. And oh boy, here it is, man. The banger so far on the TQs. We talked about this being my heaviest position, but doesn't mean that it's, we want to get rid of it. We're going to see if we can take out that high right there, 66.50. That's where my next offer is, 66.25, and then we'll see about that 66.50 level.
Yeah, great look there. So obviously still nothing on First Solar. Like clearly something's going on, but without, there's no story for me to tell you guys. It looks like it's trying to battle back a little bit here, but not much off of those lows. Still looking pretty nasty. There was a good question, or someone was asking what was going on with the trade desk earlier too. And all I got to say is, I don't know, the cleanest breakout today was probably the trade desk. Earnings continuation, right? Like it got to Friday's high, 76. It broke it out clean at the open and then dipped into it clean at 76. And it's just been going linear. It looks to me like the trade desk is squeezing post earnings into hopefully $100 or like the 200 period moving average. So that's a good look. Hypercube saying the news is the tax code. Oh, okay. So I see a headline saying House Republicans release tax bill sought by Trump. So it could be news about the tax code. But again, like I always want to make sure that we're getting it exactly right. So I don't know the specific details of any changes to the code. But yeah, oh goodness, like that could, because that's, everyone knows that you need to subsidize these bad boys, whether it's with tax incentives or rebates or whatnot, or lower rates. And if you lose that, not good.
Someone said FSLR revised guidance downwards.
Revised guidance downwards?
That's what someone
that
said.
Could be bad.
But we have Adara, so why don't we just go find out what she's up to?
Yeah, I'm not seeing the guidance thing. I will say I also saw the comments there about apparently the release of some of the aspects of this tax bill from House Republicans, but I'm not able to see the details of said bill. I'm looking here on X, and I'm also not seeing anything about First Solar's guidance. It might take a while to populate. I'm just keeping you guys posted. Still actively looking into this. I do not have a clear resolution for you all yet. Back to you.
Tesla's not really moving, but
yeah, we'll get it figured out. I just noticed right there, Shopify looks like it's trying to get going. Their brand new 50 2-week highs. Right there for Shopify. So again, being added into the NASDAQ, that's going to be a nice little boon for them. MongoDB is the name that's coming out, I believe, there as Shopify. Nice move to the upside right there. Look at it hold that 150. It might be fixed now, Fabi, in the bottom. It was just repeating the same. It was just saying like Tesla 288, Tesla 288. Tesla's, I think, is coming up. There it is. Look. Oh. Huh? Yeah. It is screwing something up. Like, watch. See, that's not the price of Tesla. Anyways,
oh, I see.
Well, there's Tesla. Watch, 288. Right? We know the Tesla's 313 or something.
Get in there and buy it.
Get in. I'm buying. I'm long. Those are the right prices. No, we'll get that figured out again. We've been changing the bottom. Shout out to our group and our team today. I mean, I love the way that looks, man. We've got the NASDAQ now down there with some cool logos as well. We've got some crypto names going on there, and we told you, man, Studio 8. Right now being rebuilt, and on the screen, changing everything up there. Neil, myself, we've got new long short. I really like the way that looks, so great job there.
It's clean.
There it is. All right, we're working on a couple more of those. I like that one. There it is, Studio 8 coming through. There is a new one, says Ramin. So I'm excited. Yeah, I want to show. Yeah, of course I want to show. I want to show all that. You want nonstop.
Oh, I can already see it.
Okay. No, yeah, I want to. Yeah, we'll wait. So we'll get that on for you guys.
It's got the gigantic screen over there. It's like you can't miss it.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's Studio 8. The renovations are happening behind us. You may see Some more. We got some of the algo guys now sitting back behind us, so that should be fun. We still got Obi over there. I told these guys they got to get noise canceling headphones ASAP, so they're on that, so you don't have to listen.
They're good to go.
Yeah, they're good to go.
I see the headphones on.
Yeah, they're always headphoned up over there. So yeah, shout out to everybody watching. Thank you again so much. Make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe. So week name today, Netflix. I don't know. We're not watching too much on Netflix right now. I'm watching Righteous Gemstones, which I think is fantastic. That's an HBO show, so watch out for that. Shout out to Danny McBride. And I did miss Walter Goggins on SNL, so I'm trying to watch that.
That guy was on SNL.
Yeah, man.
Oh, that's cool.
That guy's been in some of my most favorite shows. Vice Principals. I mean, this guy's been in a lot of things, so I definitely want to watch out for that. And a good look there this last White Lotus, and then he's a Righteous Gemstones guy too.
You know what's actually impressive about an actor like that is that when I see a picture of him, I can remember the roles I've seen him in,
right? But
not necessarily like him, which tells me that he knocked it out of the park being a character. Yeah. But it's not about like, you just remember. Oh yeah, he did that. Oh,
so apparently he spends like in White Lotus, he didn't even like talk to anybody or anything because he wanted to get into that like mood and that role and that like mentality, that headspace, I guess is the word I'm looking for there. Yeah. Shout out to my wife. She tells me all these things and I just repeat it and try to make myself look smart. But
I'm on that one now.
Oh, you're on that one now. Okay, so he's in there. And Neil, no spoiler alert, someone dies in White Lotus there at the end.
Because I thought maybe this time someone didn't.
Yeah. So the third season is completely different. So. But yeah, so I'm glad you're on that one. That's really fun.
Yes, of course. Maxie, of course. He was. See, that's the thing. Like, I forgot the guy's name, but I'm like, oh yeah, Sons of Anarchy was in as well. Like,
the guy's great. To be honest with you,
he is great.
Let's go to Adara. Walter.
Let's go to Adara and get some more news here.
Yeah, there still isn't anything on First Solar. I'm still looking into it. I still don't have anything, but keep an eye on the NASDAQ here. We do have comments coming from Feds Goolsbee. Looks like this is being reported from the New York Times, potentially an interview. But either way, according to the New York Times, Feds Goolsbee said that tariffs will still have a stagflationary impulse. And he also, I think this is pretty interesting here too, said that the temporary nature of the deal would weigh on the economy. So he doesn't specify what deal. It seems like he's referring to the deal between China and the U.S., which allows for a 90-day pause on reciprocal tariffs. Sounds like Feds Goolsbee is still a little bit cautious even in this situation. He also said endorsed the sitting approach due to uncertainty. So he wants to wait and see what happens here with regards to, I guess, tariffs and inflation before acting with regards to the Fed. Also, keep an eye on GSAT. I'm seeing some reports are circulating on X that apparently Apple is bringing emergency satellite features to iPhone 13 with iOS 18.5. GSAT is part of that, and so this is moving to the upside here. I want to look more into that story, but GSAT on watch as well as the market. Back to you.
Thank you very much, there. Appreciate it. Bitcoin is really continuing this fall. It looks like we're going to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're going to get there. I have to show a 15-minute chart for when I say there, because we're at 100,800. So we're almost at 100,000. Like, and it's on IBIT, it's around this 57 area, but it's not exactly that. So I think you can get down. You get down into here and bounce off 100,000. I'm going to look for a bounce off 100K one way or another. At this point, that's the. Like, look at this trend down. It's accelerating to the downside. So I really think you're going to get a test of that 100K level at some point here, and it's dragging everything with it. Oh, Apple is another thing I wanted to look at quickly. Apple is at morning highs. So, okay, morning highs is the right way to say this, because the high pre-market was like 212.5 or something.
Have an offer.
But this 211 levels where we just dropped like an absolute rock. I waited for 07s, but at this point, if we can't break away from 211, I'm looking reversion short here on Apple. It's had a great run today, but everything seems to be stalling out a little bit. And there you go. Like, there's a trend. It's actually breaking trend as we speak. And I'm just talking about the higher low trend. If I try to connect the entire day, If I try to connect the entire day, that'll be somewhere around 210. But Apple starting to break its trend here. And IBIT, okay, it bounced a little bit, just got back to 101, but I'd like to get closer to 100K before looking for that breakdown. So Apple's about to close underneath the trend line. I'll take the shot with the short, with the stop at it's not the high of the day, but you know what I mean if I say high of the day here, just the high since 9:30. But yeah, it looks like it's going to close. It just closed the candle underneath. Try to get short here in Apple. And let's go over and talk a little bit about something that we did well on.
Yeah, if you guys want to be involved in any gambling websites, why not join our friends at ProfitX? They have top-tier odds and total control. They bring you peer-to-peer picking. The open API access is kind of cool for automation, cost-efficient trading, all in one place. It's like day trading your favorite sports, make offers, match plays, and even manage your risk with diverse prediction options. Don't just place picks, exchange them. ProfitX is a smarter, faster way to play. Users, please use code TraderTV when you sign in and sign up to get your 2% cash back up to $300. Make sure you do use that. Let them know you're coming from us. So we will wait to see where that goes with the Maple Leafs. We talked a little bit about that. I laid some money down on them today. I think they can definitely win that next game. Let's just do it live. You have the Maple Leafs up there for the next game?
Oh, shoot, I was...
Okay, look at something else.
No, I had Knicks Celtics up.
Okay, let's look at that then. That's tonight, right? Everyone...
I was just so proud. So over here, they have like the highest interest. Like, where is the most money down on? So it's the first place my mind goes. Where's the most action? Which right now is going to be the basketball game tonight. But I can flip to...
Oh, we can go to NBA. Let's go to NBA.
Wednesday, right? So...
What about NBA, though? What was the odds?
NBA right now, we've got... What do you want? Celtics Knicks. Let's just go to that. So money line right now, you can get minus 225 on the Celtics.
Yeah, see, so here... Oh, so that's even better. So right here on FanDuel is minus 250.
Bang.
So you're already paying better than that. And then the Knicks is plus 205 if you think the Knicks are going to win. And what do you guys
215.
have? 215. So better both ways over there. And let's just do it live. So the NHL. So I'm going to go over here. I think the Maple Leafs have a good chance of winning this. Neil, right now, what do you have on that?
Well,
we're
remember,
plus 122.
It's Wednesday. So because, because it's like, think of it like trading, right? Like most of the action is going to be on game day, like where people are going to put, there's more liquidity as it gets closer because it's more of a trading thing. So right now, the money line, you have to request a line. You can get 111, but on Wednesday, trust me, this will be much different.
111. Okay, yeah, we'll have to wait. Yeah, because there's nothing on.
You'd have to look at tonight's. Tonight's there's a ton
wait.
on Washington, like $5,000 is already down on the money line on the Capitals here.
It's funny what the people in the chat expect, right? Like, for example, we go off and talk about sports gambling for 1 minute, like back to trading, guys, like get back to trading. And the midday guys is like,
they hate us.
These guys talk about like whatever for 15, 20 minutes. And it's like, well, yeah. Anyways, yeah.
So that's the thing, like.
Let us breathe.
No, you're not allowed to breathe.
I mean, I've got 4 positions on right now. What I want to get at too, anyways, by the way, is we talk about this a little bit. Finally, we've taken out some profit there. I did sell, I don't want to tell you how many shares, anyways, in JP Morgan. So I'm going to say I sold about 15% here this morning during lunchtime, when I was off. So I want to make sure that you guys knew about that one because I foolishly bought it right here on this initial dip and thought we were doing real good, right? When we bought it, we were long at 231, and then it ripped up to 255. And we're like, okay, loving life, buying everything off the 200 period moving average. And then all of a sudden it was like, yeah, you know what? This is not going to get hit that bad for tariffs or anything like that. And just JP Morgan, it's all right, and then bang, all the way to the downside. And that was horrible. And then we got into 200, 205, and we didn't buy anything. I was just like, oh, what have I done? And then should have been more active and probably bought that dip, but was thinking we were even going lower, like many people, I believe, were probably thinking that. And we didn't even really get to too many levels for JP Morgan. So, maybe could have bought some more down there at 204, but that only happened real quick. And then right back up. So the end of the story is we held this about $20 or so against us. I'm not going to use the very bottom as the bottom because that is what it is. But into this area, 210, 215. And then now that we're finally in the money, that $30 now or so. So finally starting to become a little worth it. So we do take a little bit out. I do think banks get back to highs for this year. So again, in the rate cut cycle, we should start that up coming in June, I believe it was. Although I'm not sure we'll have to double check the odds because things have changed since the last rate cut, or the last rate announcement. I just think the bank, especially JP Morgan, should be okay if we don't get that whole global fear that we may have been getting in the past. Palantir, no fear here for Palantir because it's trying to get back to the upside there as we continue to climb. I was looking also maybe at Intel. I'm really happy with that sort of recovery back to 22 and change. Although I can't be super happy with the play today. There are many names like in Nvidia that is now above where we started the day. Intel continues to make new lows. basically at day's low right now. Is Intel, not day's low, breaking through VWAP, the afternoon low. What was that spike about? I don't.
There was never a new, so yeah, we
I thought
talked.
that was the open for
Like I came, like so everyone noticed it on the midday, and I went to look to find a story, see if I could post it in the chat, and there wasn't any.
Right, okay.
So I couldn't find anything as to why Intel spiked the way that it did.
Interesting.
June meeting, 8% chance of the
8%
cut
now.
there,
Okay.
and then I go to July, you're looking at like 37% that we're down quarter. I mean, if you go all the way, you know, if you to get to 50-50, it's like by September, it's like a 50% chance. So it's just compared to what everyone was saying was going to happen last year, not necessarily the best look. Like I think this is part of the reason why. Like look at the ye old Russell, not really showing the same kind of pep in its step as the rest of the market is right now. Like you gapped up everywhere, and some things like the Nasdaq's at the high, ES are at the high, I should say, and the Russell, whoops, yeah, like all of a sudden, yeah, unable to really hold on to this 210 level, which is big because that's the Liberation Day high. You want those cuts, small caps. So they're going to continue to lag. At least that's what the price action is telling you. It doesn't matter whether it's my opinion. It is my opinion, but price action is telling you that anyways. So Apple did break that trend, which, whatever, I'm not going to hit save on it. I find like if I save too many trend lines, it kind of like bucks the charts a little bit. So I'm not going to stop doing that. Once I've used it, it doesn't really matter. I tried to add more at the 211 level. Didn't get it, but what I can do is allow it to make its move. As long as it holds under the high, I'll try to play a lower high on the way to, I think, 210. Not necessarily concerned with VWAP here, but looking at the 210 level, like the prior morning high is what I want to look at. Adrian Pino, AMD. You know what? AMD is really weak today.
You know,
Relatively speaking. And I am offering, I'm glad you brought this one up, because I'm offering in front of VWAP on AMD. When I saw this seller here at 108, like 60-ish, and it was just rolling down and rolling down. And again, the 108 ends up mattering. So it could flat bottom break underneath 108, but that was a little choppy at that price before. So I wanted to be shorting this one into the volume weighted average price. It gets slowly grinding down when, I mean, Nvidia was just at the high of the day, right? Mm-hmm. And yeah, like Nasdaq's pretty much at the high of the day. Oh, Bitcoin.
Nasdaq's falling back.
Well, it looks like IBIT made the bounce well before 100K.
Ooh, way before.
Like it got to 101.8 and is right back. Now it's up 1,000 from there. It's like at 101.7, obviously. So, I mean, yeah, but Bitcoin might not bounce off 100K exactly, but I'm looking for a couple of shorts here. Like I want to add to Apple, ideally, and then AMD, we want to short this one into the volume-weighted average price. Dutch cuts, the semis still kind of mid today? No? I don't think so.
Semis?
No, I mean, Micron's up 8%, but that's at the volume weighted average price. The last time I looked at ARM, it was cruising. Okay, it's pulling back a little bit, but that's not too bad. I mean, ARM's up 7%, holding the volume weighted average price. Yeah, you could argue they're meh. Nvidia is the only thing that was at the high of the day, and it still can't get through 123. So I think Nvidia could give us the dip into VWAP and then look for a bounce play at the end of the day.
All right. What's up, Adam? Hope you're doing well. Mr. Deluge over there. Singapore looks nice, man. I saw some of the stuff that you're getting involved with. Shout out to you, my friend. Lot of FOMO. I love that place, Singapore, man. Make sure you have the shrimps and all that kind of stuff. And go see the... I have the Mandalion there.
The which, sir?
The lion called... It's the water out there. Anyways.
Power hour.
All right, hour of power. All right, so what I'm getting involved in, he's back now. What's up, Adam? Sorry that you're back. Good old London there. London proper. All right, 65-40. Look, I'm just going to play this, looking for something to do, really. And here comes the market pulling back in. The last 3 times, maybe the last 3 closes, I've been running the short like real good down in. Today, I was sort of thinking, let's see. And again, we're not very aggressive in this. I will maybe give back 20% of my day on the NASDAQ, not in the day in general, just of what we made during this. This was good plays, man, really good plays to the upside. We had seen it top out at 66. We even talked about it when it was at 66. And I was like, this is the highest I've seen it. Oh, man, I was just bidding 50s and we just missed. I had decent amount sitting there at 50. So I just want to talk about it. If we break this, 40s, we're out. So coming into the 200 period, oh man, I hope I didn't miss. I'm gonna take some. Oh no, give me some threes then maybe. Give me some threes. Give me some threes. Give me that bid. Nope. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll take a little bit of threes there if we. We were waiting at 50s. I'm not going to get too frustrated because hopefully it comes back in and does fill us there. But just noticing this 200 period moving average, right? I mean, it's been pretty good. Forget about what was going on this morning, but there's the break higher right now. We're just coming back into it now. Also kind of pairs out with the 65.40 level that we took the first long through here. Oh, darn, man. We just missed that. I'd be getting some out if I had gotten that bid, by the way, just because it just came in and spiked right back up. So a nice 15 cents there off of 50s. It went to 50 on the bid. I was sitting there. I'm on Edge X. No, I'm not. I'm on NASDAQ Gateway. Should probably not be on NASDAQ, but that's okay. It's one of my least favorites. Shout out to NASDAQ. Oh, one of my most favorite gateways. IEX, by the way. No, just playing around. I don't even use IEX, but shout out to IEX. Thank you for this one, as we do have them on there. Good opportunity for dark pools, I guess, trading. We have here at Real Trading, man, we have access to over like 50 different routes and different dark pools and all of that. Get involved with Real Trading right now if you can. I'm gonna buy a little bit here at 62s because I tried to buy 53s and missed me. And I just put a bid at 62. We'll take a little small play here. I'm only gonna take like 1 unit. The idea is to get like 4 or 5 units by the time we get down into that level. Still can't even get 62s here. And then we'll see about going a little bit higher on that play. Now going back upside. Come on, TQs. Fill that up at least. Like I can't even get it when I'm on the bid. So, all right. Glad with JP Morgan's reaction there today. SMR, let's go. That's right. Blast these guys right there. But there it is. Nice reload on SMR. I mean, you guys asked me about this trade, and I was like, we're taking 75s, man. So we did that. We took that to the bank, and there goes SMR. We'll offer out right here. We'll see if we can get some shares, and then we'll see about a higher bid through 90s, through 18, upside there. Futures have to work. On there it goes. We just get that filled. Just as I turn, we get it. And there goes. Throw something at the screen right there. There goes the TQs, man. We sat there at 50. We just missed that by literally 1 cent. Then we missed the 53s, and we missed the 63s. And there it goes upside right now through some levels. We should have been long there, but we tried it. Yes, Singapore chili crab jumbo. Singapore. Yes, that's the place. Raffles. I had a Singapore sling there as well. It's right on one of the main strips. We went into the back. It's gorgeous. I think it's like an old school hotel. It is absolutely amazing. Satay, great job, man. This guy killed it in Singapore. Hey, look, if you're going to spend an arm and a leg, you might as well do it right? I mean, you're not going to be to Singapore too many times. So good job there, Adam. And again, congratulations on the proposal. I hope she stays with you. For that length of time. So good job there, Adam. And shout out to Celine as well. So it was great meeting you guys. And congratulations, man. Next stop, kids.
That's the big one.
Right.
And it's the best step. It's the best thing you ever do.
There goes SMR, baby.
Thank you so much, Team Money, for the super chat. Appreciate you here. Problem, look at that. Nice. Problem with Bitcoin is there are no splits and it's too expensive for retail to own one coin. Owning 0.0001 is just unattractive for retail and it's not exciting. I mean, I don't know that I agree with that, but I don't know that I can agree with that one. I think that
look at the
everyone I know that likes Bitcoin or that's into it is unconcerned with certainly that. Like, who cares how much? It's how much you have in it, not like having one coin. You want to put 10 grand in it, put 10 grand into 20 grand into it. I don't think it's like that, but maybe that's an issue. I'm a big Bitcoin person, but it has more to do with the fact that you can't just mint a million of them. It's 21 mil. It's just all it is, and not like all the other alts. That's what sets it apart. And as long as they're printing, and I'm talking about governments to just continue to print. Then you want something that can have that sort of stable hold of value, and if crypto's here to stay, then I think Bitcoin holds that value. And I've been a believer of that theory for a while. I'm not one of those that says it's going to take over from gold, but there's at least a large chunk of the market share of what gold is, I think, can get to Bitcoin. So I like Bitcoin. I don't know that whole split thing would ever make a difference, but that's just me. Maybe retail does feel like that. I don't know. Like I've never thought that way about Bitcoin. Like because you can only own 0.0001.
I don't
think that matters, man.
I don't really understand. I mean, what's up, T Money? I mean, you're always in the chat here, but yeah, it has nothing to do with anything, in my opinion. There's so many triple levered things. You can buy BITO, BITX. There's also levered stuff for the retails that is a little bit less price, but I do understand what you're saying. There'll be fear because people will say, I don't want to buy it because it's at 100,000. Even if you can buy like 0.1 of it, like everybody that I talk to, missing those futures down there is just a killer. Like we just missed that buy. We were right there. Like look at that, it went to 51. I'm with a big position at 50. Like that could have been a wrap there. But no, everyone I talked to, like even I ran into some people that I talked to, and they're super rich. They're dentists. And I remember they didn't understand it. And it was 60,000. And I was like, you need to be buying some big, and that was 60,000. This is 2 years ago, or maybe even more than that. And now when I ran into them the other day, because their kid plays chess with mine, and they were asking me about Bitcoin, and I was like, yeah, it's like, it was only 95,000 or something like that. And they're like, 95, oh my God, it's too expensive to buy it now. And it's just like, I think there is a mentality. There's a mentality there that it's just once it gets to be too expensive, like Netflix, right? If you run into the average Joe, by the way, SMR.
True.
So I put on 3 trades, basically, that TQQ dip buy opportunity, this SMR, and that's it, and getting out of the rest, so only 2 trades. But yeah, no, I think it's just like, it's the mentality. There's $18 right there on SMR. It's just about like, how expensive is Netflix? Someone will say, oh my God, Netflix is, $1,100, I don't want to buy it. But if you're going to put in $5,000 into something, it's just the amount of money that you put in that matters.
That's what yeah.
So you could buy 4 shares of Netflix, fine. But if it goes up 5% tomorrow, it's the same 5% that you would have got trading anything else.
I think with equities, it's different for options.
I get the mentality.
I get it for options because it makes it really expensive for anybody to play an option when the price is high on an equity. Like that's why I think Netflix should split, because then there's so many people that'll be in the options game for Netflix that aren't there right now for equity. I'm 100% down.
But just BTC, you can get you could buy $1 worth.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to do that.
Literally buy any amount that you. Well, okay, true. Yeah.
Wow, we're starting to rock. Anyways, go ahead.
Just a quick update. Look, Rigetti's starting to come back up, but it's Apple that maybe we should. I wanted to get down to 210. And I also wanted to look for a place to add. So it's looking like it's putting in that lower high. I'm in at 89, and then the high here sits at like 12 or 13. I think it's like 15 is the actual high. I'm going to look for it to close underneath 211 and hopefully get a reload in the 80s. But that was a nice little bounce play in the future. My next offer on is VWAP going to be off in this? I just realized it is. VWAP will be a little bit wrong because it's missing a little bit of chunk of data there. But we just got up to 60. I'm going to reload this in the 40s on Rigetti. But first things first, with the market moving up, it's the short that you concern yourself with. So Apple, I want to try to get something in the 80s as long as it can hold this lower high on this 3-minute candle. I'll try to pick something up on the 80 level. 1320 Wolf, no, Tesla's not at $350 yet. Oddly enough, Tesla is at...
Is it Thursday yet?
Oh, Thursday? Yeah, it's Monday. Yeah, I can see it. Because I think 360, it's like 365 to 370 is the next place I think it's going to on the daily chart. And no, it is not. Like Tesla is underneath VWAP or at VWAP right now. Lower highs, can't break the 320. 320 is where I want to see this go. Once it's holding above 320, then I think you're really good. You're good to go to get that move into like the 60s and 70s on that daily chart. Damien Tarsa, do I know anything about RGC? I mean, outside of this being asked about last week, no. I do remember last week people asking us about this symbol, and I didn't know anything about it then, and the chart looks fantastic is all I can tell you, but I don't really know anything about it. And I always get ridiculously concerned when I see stuff like this. Like, okay, well, like you're at $50 and you're squeezing and you're at 500. My brain just goes to HKD when I see stuff like this. And it's on 123,000 shares and is up like, 10x from last week? Yeah, I mean, that's, to me, if you're in something like this and you're not taking profit, I don't know where your head's at, but Yeah, I'm not trading it, that's for sure. $20 spread, no liquidity whatsoever. I don't really know much about it except for the fact that last week I probably told people, yeah, you never went broke taking profit, it's doubled up. So you probably don't want to listen to me on these because I tend to be ridiculously conservative. And if I'm ever in something like this, I'm usually out when I get a bunch out when it doubles for me, and then I might leave the rest on. You play with house money. That's the kind of play that I would do on a small cap or a low floater like this RGC.
All right, more outs there on as I didn't forget about it, but we bought in here. So let's not get it too twisted. We're gonna take some profit there. We still got some 70s and some 70s. And then we went up to 90s, so we got some out there at 90s. And I think it was 88s, to be honest with you, an 88 and an 86 or so. As now it's starting to drip down. We'll still wait to see if we can get that. But we're being conservative when we get it. Like, we're only gonna hold this about 15 cents or so back in. But yeah, it's been a nice little run there for the end of the day. On the NASDAQ, made that move higher there. Whether or not we continue to go or not, I am not sure. But oh boy, this one is the... Ooh. If you're not enjoying yourself, you're not in the right space. But right here, there it goes, wicked on SMR. I did get a little bit out there when we broke back down through 18, but now we might as well... Oh, canceling healthcare.
What are you, huh?
I'm going to announce this, but it's not, they're canceling healthcare for transgendered troops. Maybe I shouldn't have said that because now the chat's probably either going to like or not like that, but that's a news story. So again, if you are looking at healthcare stocks, we've always talked about XLV. I don't think it's going to matter. I don't know the percentage that that's going to affect. I just laugh because I have no idea. It's not even a story really, but there it goes, more of a, you know, rights issue, I guess. But 135.60 right now, upside 136, looking like we want to break a little bit higher there. The drug stock, that's been interesting to me today. We had Pfizer that made some moves all the way downside and then has been bought up and sort of just kind of barcoding a little bit now near the tops. Damn it, got some blessing and a curse, we said at the same time, these eyelashes. But all right, let me just check out what Amazon's been doing here today. You know, not just, look, I'm in Nvidia, SMR, so that's a small cap name. We're taking some profit on SMR. SMR still 30 cents in the money on a $17 name. We're happy with that return so far. Amazon, just right into here, was a great stock early, man, really got going, then back into here, into 206. A break lower on that name, probably. Yeah, you don't want to be involved with that if it breaks too low. But Amazon right now looking to hold out through 206. That's going to be a good trade. I'm really just looking to get a little bit longer in the futures. Yeah, people keep talking about devs, so shout out to DevStream right here.
Oh, that's the show on Disney, I think.
Devs?
It's on Disney. Yeah, it's just like a science fiction.
All right, well, that's good. Yeah, it's all right. But anyways, once you get holding through $1, that's really where it starts to scream, right? 194 million. I actually thought looking at this stock is one thing, so that's nice. But we're trying to like figure this out because breaking through $1, I almost think it should have gone a little bit more than what we're doing right there. But there's a nice little fill, not a gap fill or anything like that, but it is trying to, looking like anyways, trying to break through that $1 mark. So we'll see what happens now with devs. And if we just sort of zoom back out just to get a little bit of a better look now at what's been going on, we have that dollar. We've already been up here. So right there, we broke it before back in December, and that created cascade downside there. So a couple of opportunities at that dollar for DEVS again, and it just didn't pay out for anybody. So again, worry spot for sure for DEVS. I mean, it's a great trade. You're not worried of being up 200% on anything, but coming into an area where it looks like the high, forget about these wicks. I mean, if you catch one of those, fantastic, but ultimately, this is either a relatively new IPO or a symbol change or something that our chart's just not watching, but right into there, 120 to 130 on devs looks like a good area. So if you get another 30% on this, regardless that it's already up 200, I think that's probably a good slap out there in and around 130. I may just take this for shits and giggles because of it's above $1, but it doesn't look like it's too exciting above $1 right now. So maybe get above that high of 105, and then we use $1 as some support there. But nice move there, nice move back in for yeah, exactly, a good move. All right, well here we go. We just got some more TQQs. Remember that 60s, 62 or whatever that we were sitting at waiting for? Well, we got it. So let's just without hesitation get some out now at 70. So there it is right there.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, 10 cents, crazy. But we do want to take a little bit out. Now let's see if we can go. Let's go. Let's get back above 66. I like this trade here at the end of the day. We are a little bit nervous though that the market does fall into the close like we've been doing the last couple of days. At least I feel like it. And then we want to get out for sure near 350 the time. So that would be something to look out for if you're monitoring the trades with me as we get closer and closer. And we forgot to even show you the imbalances early this morning. Whoa! Someone right now wants to buy some Pfizer. We did AMCR. There was some sort of an imbalance later on. 5 million right now on Pfizer. So that bid is starting to grow.
Part of some kind of a deal.
Yeah, there was some sort of a thing there about it. Eli Lilly looking great for a weekly bull run for sure. We talked about XBI, but also IBB. If you're going to look at the, oops, that's the Blue Ocean. IBB right there, the biotech there, iShares. There we go. Up 11.5% right now, IBB. No, it's not. That was Blue Ocean last night, I guess. There's IBB right now, 478. So pardon me doing that. All right, so look at this, man. There goes right back to the TQs, and there goes the charts right back there. If we can get this fill in and around right now, 80s, we'll do something there. We'll put an offer there using ARCA at 78. There it is. We get some outs there as we start to go back upside. Good reload, man, and that was an okay.
I'm reloaded!
There it goes, man. A nice little reload there as you're still on that Rigetti tip. And an apple a day won't keep us away because we trade it every day.
And of course, I just typed Rivian when I meant to type Rigetti. It's like, I'm telling you, if I type R into my level 2, like my gut just go right over to Rivian, which actually
that's a fun game to play.
We just bounced off VWAP a second time in here, so I'm adding to it back into VWAP. My next offer is above 65. I want to see if this can squeeze, mostly because of what QBTS did on its earnings. It's not having a good day today, but QBTS, when they reported, it was just a huge revenue blowout. And if Rigetti does anything like that, I think there's going to be some nervous shorthands in there. Apple is still holding nicely. I mean, look, part of the reason why I'm a little bit bearish near the highs on Apple is it never really broke away from the top. Like 213 here, 213 there, and then come into here. You were there in the pre-market and lost it, and you're trending up on Apple. Well, this should be down around, I wanted to be bidding like 42. 210, like 40, in the 40s. So Apple's still holding that trend break, putting in the lower high, but it never got into the 80s for any kind of a reload. So this is the one I want to play off of. Nvidia's right at the top. 123 on the nose is, I think, yeah, on the nose is the high of the day. There's a dark pool wick at 06, but like that's just a dark pool wick. It's probably like Blue Ocean that broke 123 overnight. But looks like you could break out that 123. Why does it matter? Well, not because that's not split adjusted, but if you go all the way back to the March, this high right here in March, that was the 123 resistance. So I think you've got a nice potential breakout here happening. Volume not great, but the volume's not great on anything right now. So I want to see Rigetti break 60s, then I'm offering like 63 for my next out. Apple, we're still waiting for a reload. You guys let us know what else is moving. IK saying Oklo is going.
Yeah, I mean, maybe SMR is trying to go.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, like well, that's what I was going to say. I'm like, if SMR is going, Oklo is going. Same space. They're likely to move together. The nuclear names all tend to move a little bit in concert. They have the same short floats, which the interesting thing about that, when I see that in the nuclear names, all very similar short floats, and like 3 or 4 of the quantum names have all about the same short flows, and it makes you wonder if the same hedge funds or like the same group aren't all leaning on them with the same positions, which makes it more interesting when they squeeze, because then you can get cascading liquidations. So anyways, that's just something I always think in my head, because it's like, what a coincidence that you can have 3 stocks in the same space, all not making money, all with the same short float. And it happens with the nanonuclear names, and it happens with the quantum names as well. Let's go to Adara, and hopefully we get this break in Rigetti.
We don't have any news here. I still don't know what happened with First Solar, but I do want to let you guys know tomorrow is actually going to be a pretty big day for the market because we have CPI at 8:30 a.m. We also have some pre-market earnings names like JD.com and ONON. Both of those can certainly move after the bell on Tuesday. We get Oklo and new holdings and a slew of company events throughout the day. Keep an eye on tickers like SMCI. Charter, we have Carvana, we've got Duolingo, Celsius. You can check out all this information on X at TTV Research. I post these calendars every single day around 3 p.m. We have Power Hour kicking off. And also, stay tuned. In a couple minutes here, I'm going to be posting our implied moves calendar so you guys can see what type of moves we're expecting from tonight's earnings plays and the ones that are going to report in the morning. Back to you.
There, yeah, definitely checked it out at Trader TV Research. I mean, a lot of work being put in over there. So go check it out. I'm often retweeting stuff as well from that page. I mean, you know, if you're like visual, it's all right there. So earnings, expectations, and everything for every single earnings play. And again, we are not every single one, but all the major ones. And we do have, we're through, man. It's 90% right now of the companies in the S&P 500 have reported.
With one big one left.
Yeah,
well,
the biggest.
I mean, there's a few, but the biggest one is.
Yeah, it will be Nvidia, of course, which is May 28th. So we have a long ways away, 2 more weeks.
I'm going to miss Nvidia again?
The hell's wrong with you?
It's really because I missed that big Nvidia one when I was in Paris, and I'm going to be in Budapest for this one, I think.
Oh, you're going at the end of this month?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, nice. All right, wow.
Well, it's so I've been told like there's certain like going to you don't want to go in like the middle of going to Europe in the middle of the summer is a bit much. So you're either going like at the beginning or in spring, or you're going later on in the year. Like so.
Yeah, I still got to get.
Like I don't mind the heat. I like the heat, but like winter vacation, you don't necessarily want that dry like high 30s nonsense. So yeah, we're doing our family. Well, the company trip, we're taking the family to Budapest with a day trip to Vienna, which.
Yeah, exactly. That should be a lot of.
Someone asked in the chat, can we get shorts at Real Trading on RGC? Not for free. I'm not, look, first of all, I'm not going to pay for these shorts, whatever they are, because I have zero intention of trading it, but I don't mind seeing what they end up costing. But no, we don't have locates for free. I'm going to guess almost nobody on something like this has locates for free because that's just how it rolls. There's no liquidity on this stock. I'd be surprised if that stock wasn't just flat out blocked for us from trading. They cost 65 cents a share, so like $64 or $65 to get 100 shares. But that's not a name that anybody's touching with a 10-foot pole around.
No, you don't like a $14 spread with no liquidity?
120K volume? Like what?
I mean, look at how this looks, guys.
You pull it up. Like look at the chart. What is
you can't see. Don't you want to buy off the 100-period moving average right here? I mean, it looks great. I'm just joking around. I have this does not look great at all. So it's
the most ridiculous chart I've ever. Like
this is
even HKD had liquidity, and that thing went to like $2,500, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, this is another one where they have like not many employees and this and that, and it's just there is Jay Lee at 12 employees. Oh, it doesn't matter.
I mean, it's probably a short.
Who
but
are
that
the
doesn't mean
12?
It's a smart decision. Like you still get people thought HKD was the most obvious short ever at $100, and it went. And then it was at $250. I was like, this is a great short. Then it was at $500, and like this is a great short. And then it was at $2,500. Somebody shorted the top, but like 90% of the people on the way up probably got destroyed.
I mean, if you can't see that that's a long, then I mean, I don't know what you're looking for. Okay.
Oh, man, that's not.
Oh, man. I'll be here all day. Or no, I won't. I'll be gone in 35 minutes. All right, DraftKings. Join Neil and Adara for the recap show where they'll have Michael Noss coming on. We'll talk to him about whatever and see what he's doing. So there goes DraftKings. Again, if you do scan this DraftKings chart, you will get one free play at DraftKings because it is a barcode right there. Try to do it. It will not work. Sorry about that. But it's not doing too much right there. But I do like DraftKings. Again, like we want to talk about a name that has sort of showed the love down here. And I think it was just like we got smoked. And it's kind of like looking back at the yen carry trade back in August when the market like completely fell all over itself. That was fun and everything, but at the end of the day, you really have to be careful with what you're watching because the market, some of these levels, like that was such a dramatic day that, the buttons get pushed and sometimes these levels just break. So like, I really think that this 32 to 33 seems to have been a really great level there for DraftKings and just one to be watched. So if it ever comes back into those areas, if we do get a little bit of a pullback, I like DraftKings through earnings. And again, it's kind of just, it's not like Tesla because obviously it's an EV name, but what I was going to reference there was first mover advantage. And, there's a lot of traders that like DraftKings that are in it already for the push forward. And there's still some provinces, still some states that don't even have approval yet for gambling. And be able to do that for DraftKings. So again, a couple interesting names. Not only do they have the online gambling, but obviously a lot of revenue there with different opportunities there. They had the slot machines, and there's a couple different games that I always hear about on DraftKings as well. So grab them, but the best odds will of course be at Profit X. You can check that out as well. But what's up, Thomas? I love you as well. There you go, Thomas. Shout out to Thomas. Where's that? Oh, it's another one. It's a face slap. But thank you, Thomas. Love you on the show. Love you as well, Thomas. Thank you for supporting. I don't know if you threw some shade at me before, but to be clear, he says. All right. Well, thank you. I won't look above, to be clear. So thank you so much for that. Look, I really try to take it as like trading is not a personal thing. Like, you know, what we do here on the show is not love or hate different names. We looking for opportunities, right? And we're looking for, try to get some clear buy signals and whatever. Like here comes the TQs. I'm still gonna stick with that same plan. Although right now we did break below the 200 period moving average. I'm still gonna use my idea down here because we missed this by just a couple pennies before. I'll start the bidding right now at 56. I'm thinking about lowering. I'm gonna go to 50, let me go to 52 right now, and we'll lower a little bit of the share size because we now are underneath the 200 period moving average. Look at, did I just get those 52s or nah? Okay, now we do. Ooh, okay. Let's say if I miss that again, then I really am the jinx. But all right, I'm still gonna give it to here. This could fall out. The real trade I feel like might have been right there, but now we're starting to fall in again. I don't ever really like the double retest. So retest the short there at the 50. Come back into a level that we love, that we never got filled on, then retest the 50, then break and go lower. So yeah, not like my most favorite of setups.
52-week high.
Needless to say. Uber 52-week, Uber all-time highs. Not just 52-week highs, but also.
Yeah, because this was pre-market.
Yeah. Shopify is the one that's at the 52-week highs.
Right, yeah.
So, all right, Neil's just looking at that. So, all right, here we go. We're long the TQs. We just bought some 52s. I have enough shares that I'm happy with now. I'm going to see if we can get it back into the 50 period moving average, which is 75. If it gets to 75, I'm going to get some out. Other than that, let's see if we can let this thing go up just a little bit and then work on it from there. So first out 68s, then we'll see, because I just put it there, then we'll see about a 75. But right now, you can take a dime if you want it. You know, talking about getting those longs at 50, now we're at 60. Let's see if we can climb in and see if we can make a trade here. So nice play so far here on the futures going long near that low. Will the low hold? You know, we'll see. And we'll punch out if it breaks, right? So I think that's a well sort of defined idea here.
So speaking of punch out, pull back into prior high on Apple, went right to the prior high. So the morning high, I should say. Prior high would be like over here. So went to the morning high, that 210 level, so it just bounced off. Just a trend break that I thought was going here instead of to the volume weighted average price because A, good news, B, I mean, bias. The 50 period still sits here as support on Apple at $210. Like that's a 50 period on the daily, and with the news there, I kind of feel like that's going to be support, but it could blow through and be a VWAP retrace, as now you're starting to see. So I was the only thing that I liked short other than AMD, which, you know, as you can see, like AMD got nowhere near bouncing into the volume weighted average price and just continued to go lower. So there was never, I don't know why I have a line at 1. I'm just going to get rid of that. Sometimes I leave a support or resistance line in there just for my own memory, but I can't figure for the life of me, I don't remember why that was significant at 108. I'm sure I had a good reason for putting it in there that wasn't today, but we didn't get that AMD short, unfortunately, but Apple works out nicely, able to get in front of 211 down to 210. Rigetti is trying to go, so it just went into the morning range top. Now I just want to let it go to see if it can retest some of those highs into 1190. This was entirely based on like the premise, like I wanted to be long when it broke trend. Like the day-long trend broke right around here, and then it bounced off there. I wanted to be long because I think shorts might want to cover this, or at least cover something going into earnings. And there's a host of earnings after the bell. This is one that we think with a 15% expected move, SMR 13% expected move. We're expecting some fireworks out of this quantum name. And where it is on the daily is telling you a good story too. Like, look at it hold some higher lows. And if you draw a wedge on this bad boy, like just do it like, well, really, if I'm drawing a wedge, it should be like this. Like, I'm trying to fit it to make it look like it just happened. No, like, it broke the wedge last week and then held the support in front. Like, that's a good-looking breakout. If I was shorting this, not, by the way, if I was shorting this, would I not be wanting to cover on the off chance they do something like D-Wave did and surprise on revenue? And look, they're not going to make any money. They're going to report that they're not making money, but that's not what it's all about. Squeezes don't require fundamentals that are incredibly strong. I always try to keep that in mind. Let me know what else you guys are looking at here. STO, plug power, I believe. I don't remember what time we get plug tonight. When is plug? When does plug report? Yeah, they're not till, yeah, these guys are not, we're not expecting them till 5 o'clock. So plug power, we might not be able to bring live for you guys on the market recap show. That said, the patented, unfortunately for this company, they're underneath $1, but you have the chance to have a dollar breakout, which is always one of my favorite setups. When you get back above the dollar, then you get sometimes market makers or interested parties supporting the dollar level or around there, so you can try to close above. So we're not going to get to see this one live, unfortunately. But yeah, dollar tomorrow on plug is the level I'm going to be watching. If it fails, like a dollar breakout, like breaks on earnings and then fails it in the morning, that's usually a short setup for me. And I'm agnostic to what the actual fundamentals end up being. I just want to play momentum on it. If I trade plug tomorrow, it's going to have zero to do with any fundamentals, right? Like you won't hear me referencing the report if I trade plug tomorrow at all, like one way or the other. So Apple now trying to bounce off that 210. I'm not thinking reload the short unless it comes right back into that 211 top, and then we'll take another shot at it. Rigetti's starting to pull back. It got to the 70s, now pulling back in a little bit here. Like Apple goes up, Rigetti wants to come back in maybe to the volume-weighted average price. JP Suede, I'm with you. Like I was just sort of like Uber is really going here through 88, all-time highs. You never have enough. You never have enough.
I have enough.
Hindsight being 2020. Yeah, you know what? Whatever. It doesn't matter. Let's go to Adair at the desk.
I'm not seeing anything on Uber. I just looked in to see if there's anything else there. There really isn't anything, though I am seeing apparently some Tesla commentators, including Gary Black, are saying that any of Uber's autonomous offerings are going to be better than Tesla's robotaxi. That's really all I'm seeing, nothing specific to Uber. However, we talked about when is plug reporting. Well, there's a way to find out when everything is reporting. Go on X at TTV Research. I have this little implied moves infographic. Here are the names we're expecting here on the left to report after the close tonight. Tomorrow morning, we have a whole host of names reporting as well. If it says TBA, that means we don't know what time it's reporting, but it will be before the bell. Check this out on X at TTV Research. Whole slew of names reporting. Make sure you are aware. Back to you.
Yes, Hertz is one that's easy to forget, moves around a ton. Hurt me.
Yeah, I like Hertz right now. We also like Palantir. We'll get some more out right there. We'll fire off the plane right here. But yeah, it is an all-time high right there for Uber coming through. So we really like that one. And we've been, sticks to landing just in time right there. So there it is and out. We just noticed that like Palantir's kind of doing this. We're watching our net kind of just hovering right now. My net's just really moving around with this position because everything else is kind of just doing its own thing. We were able to get out more of SMR fell off of there, but honestly, like that to there, we talk about sort of the moves that we're looking for. This is why we were just joking about RGC and having lines up and all that stuff and like, oh, who wouldn't want to buy off there? But when you're looking at obviously very liquid stocks, especially into earnings plays like that, bottom of the day back to VWAP, I mean, we got to get that out. That's why we have multiple outs here at the 200 period. And then again, as we fall back in. So we'll wait to see what winds up happening now with SMR half out. And hopefully I'm talking myself out of this a little bit. I'm going to get out of a little bit more here if we can at 86 and then deal with it then. Yeah, if there's any other names in the chat, I mean, we talked about getting a little bit lighter there. There we go. We just got, by the way, as soon as I do it, we just got an 86 there. So nice little play as we sit there and grab that. JP Morgan flattening out as well. Sell Palantir at 118 if I can. What's Palantir at?
I'll find out if you...
Yeah, of course I can, Mr. J. Lee. Right there. I'm still positive on this market, so I'm not going to do that quite yet. But it is holding right now. Yeah, if we do break below, I don't know if we should wait for that huge move. I mean, I'm in the futures, and honestly, since I've been in this, it's not doing too much. We did get a move back to 63s or so, which is the 200 period. I'm at 68. I might as well just move that to 65 just really quickly here, get out of 10% there, cancel my 68, then we'll wait for that 75. So if we can get something at 65, we'll do it. I mean, our reload was at 50s, so 52, sorry. So if we can get that, that'd be a good trade, but I'm not gonna be happy about it. We wanna get a little bit higher there. Carnival Cruise Lines, like nothing's really hitting on my scanners. I mean, Neil just went over it. There's the hot list right there. WLKP, that's a new name, Westlake. So this could be going, maybe a new IPO? I don't know, volume just going through right now. EWX, I don't even know what EWX is. That sounds like an ETF to me. Yeah, emerging markets, okay, so good call there. Oh, before I go over to Neil, I do want to check EWZ. My friend there, and yours, of course, everyone's friend, Steve Tileman.
Yeah.
Did mention Brazil ETF. So I just want to check in on it. He mentioned it on Friday. Flat basically for the day. So bullish, yeah.
Bullish, okay.
Yeah, he's a, I don't want to say self-proclaimed because I haven't really followed him too much, but he talks about he really prefers emerging markets. So Steve Tileman right there liking EWZ. But yeah, and then that's sort of the watch list and the hot list that we're going through. We'll talk about that more, but right now SPY, Nvidia, Tesla, Palantir, Uber, a lot of the same major names on there, maybe Intel down there at 22. So, you know, lots to deal with, lots to talk about. And of course, this is off of eSignal.
Yeah, and speaking of eSignal, everybody, it is still free for the first month. That's right, everybody. They're waiving fees. This is your chance to trade smarter and not harder. Why not? I mean, ultimately, in the market, you're only as good as your own insights and the tools that you have available. There's nothing else. That's what you have. You've got your strategies and you've got your tools to execute your trades. So here you have a wide variety of indicators, markets available. You're able to back test your strategies, forward test, use tick replay to go over the price action, use level 2 access to see what the book looks like, the ability to use the imbalance locator at the end of the day, which we're going to see in about 10 to 15 minutes or so. And it's intuitive, it's reliable, and it's everything all in one place. Like someone just asked me, hey, Neil, can you take a look at gold? Yeah, I can look at GLD. Of course I can. I mean, heck, I could call up the ETF. And you can look at the book right now. Now, I'm not going to trade here. You can hook up multiple brokers through eSignal as well. And you can be able to trade live, hooking up to many brokers, not all, but many brokers. And you can look at this on the daily. I can put some indicators on there if I want. Everything's at your fingertips. For 1 month free, check it out. Scan the QR code you see in front of you, everybody. Jump onto eSignal, and a big shout out to them. You know, it's been heavily used on this trading floor and many others actually at Real Trading. I know lots of traders that absolutely swear by it. And we're talking traders at Momentum Traders, people at automated traders, some people using API to automate trades as well. So shout out to eSignal. I don't think anybody should be that surprised that we're having a bit of a pullback day on gold. And ultimately, you know, when I see what's going on with it today, I'm just going to pull up the 3 minutes so you can see here. Like the market's super strong, and you have like a down day. What I would say is a little bit surprising is the fact that it bounced as nicely as it did. And what's interesting is if you look at when this bounced up, remember when Bitcoin had that, like Bitcoin looked a little bit weak and gold was able to kind of rally and you're above VWAP. I think that's a little bit surprising. I would have thought it would hold some of the lows given the market holding the strength that it has. So a good real little rebound here in GLD. I don't think if we continue this rally, unless some things get walked back, I could see this pulling. I could see it pulling back a little bit further. The 50 period's been the bounce spot, that or like 295. I'm not a gold holder. I can't claim to be, so, and I've never really hedged with it either. But yeah, it's still a very strong looking chart, but it is losing a little bit of its luster. I guess intended. I guess. You know what?
Yeah, no, I was.
You didn't look at the early looks here. I wanted to jump back.
Pfizer was all that.
Pfizer is still really big. And it's what's interesting about this, like the paired volume's only 1 million into 4.5 million. It was 5 million, so yeah, it's going down a little bit. But it's done 58 million. So this is almost 10% of the daily volume, and it's the only thing that stands out right now. Just want to make sure that's true. Yeah, it's the only thing that's really standing out. So I'm going to have Pfizer up on a side chart. All of these names, Like, I don't care. It doesn't really matter which
could've
farm
gone
name
the other
you're
way
looking at. They were
here. No.
absolutely flying to the upside. Willing to bet. I should probably get. Yeah, Rigetti might have run into the top here.
Yeah.
Like, I've got one salvo left, and yeah, it's not really like it was trending up after holding that lower high, and now it's kind of trending back in. I'm just gonna throw a trailing stop on this. The idea was that maybe it'll run going into the close on earnings, and you could have like a squeeze going into the earnings after what happened to QBTS, but I'm not getting that feel anymore with Rigetti. And it really broke that uptrend about 4 or 5 cents ago. So I'm just gonna put a trailing stop on that, have a quick look, see at Apple. Is that anywhere worth a reload? It's exactly where we left it at 210 and not doing anything. The other short I liked was AMD. AMD just continues to go lower. Ugh.
AMD, yeah.
You know what? New rule.
What's that?
If Nvidia is making the same high over and over and over again, and at the same time AMD is making lower highs, just short AMD somewhere. I feel like that's true almost every single time we look at it. When Nvidia is strong and it makes a top, and AMD after said top is just making lower highs. Like this right here is 1 o'clock, so you go to 1 o'clock here, and then the retest of the highs at 2 o'clock. Where's AMD at 2 o'clock? Making a lower high. Where is it here when you're testing another? It's making another lower high. So any consolidation when NVIDIA's at the top, you could have just shorted the consolidation in AMD and been printing. They don't like AMD, everybody. Doesn't matter what the PE is, they don't like it.
No, man, that was been destroyer of money for a while, and hopefully you guys can get back into it a little bit lower. I don't know. We just got stopped out of our TQs, and I was like, maybe we just might have just made a little bit of a bottom there. Again, you know, like I said, man, I apologize. Like I'm going to take the L on this because we had broke below, and we had sort of talked about it, and we said we weren't going to really average into it, and we didn't really do anything too bad here at all. But still not a winning trade as it falls back out. We're still green on the TQs. Obviously, we've talked about that. We didn't want to do anything like give anything back. But maybe we might have seen a bottom there. So I'm just going to take something there. Okay, there it goes. Now we're starting to go back. That sucks, man. It sucks because it hit the level and now it rips back up. Sure, I got back in and that's fine, but we already took the L there. And now it's like those of you that were watching saw me get out and now I'm right back in. And it's like, it came right into this level and broke it, so I did want to get out, but you know, we got back into the TQ, so now it's going higher there. Some of you were asking like where I was going to get stopped out. I was looking at this level right there. So once it broke 35, we got out, but then I sort of did, and this is why it is tough, I understand that, you know, to look, like it was just a big, like we had two kind of flushed out candles right there. And so I just wanted to see, like, those were kind of big sells. The last time we had a sell candle like that was back at 220, so about an hour and a bit ago. So it's just a little bit of sell pressure. We did buy some back. Let's see if we can make a little bit back on that play. It looks like we are doing a little bit of that damage control now back in. I'm going to take out one more piece here if I can at 47. We're long 38s. Just trying to make back a little bit of what we lost because our average price, I think, we were 58s, then we got 50s, so I think we were probably long at like 52 or so on that one, and we wound up getting out at 38. So still not, or 34 breaks, sorry, 33s. So not a great trade there, just trying to make a little bit back. But as that was happening, we did get some more out of Palantir as it was trying to break through 118. Again, long $2.50. There's $2.80 in the money. And then we got, there we go, we just got some more futures out. And then we did get some more Nvidia because Nvidia was getting close to VWAP. And I'm like, man, if the futures are going to go, we definitely don't want to be in that name. So I'm going to take another shot here and take another out for Nvidia. There it is. So I'm going to be out of Nvidia now. If it climbs back up, fine. We were pretty light on it anyways. I do want to focus a little bit more on the futures now and less on the positions that I have. SMR, a good opportunity to get out. Let's take that again right now at 79. Look where we just got out. We just got out a decent number right there at 93. We got multiple outs there at 85. It's just getting close. I didn't even realize it's 5 minutes now until the imbalances. So that does explain some of the whipsaw action maybe that we're seeing here. And it's not violent or anything. It's just like whoops down, whoops up as some of these start to pair off a little bit, right? And so, yeah, bless you. You're going to get some more action in here right now, but it's all to the buy side right now. Very like DNB a sell, whatever. That's not Dropbox. Visa sell, so that's going to be a decent number there. But, you know, everything's a buy. Royal Bank, I don't know. Big Bear, AI not doing anything. But anyways, that's still a sell. So we probably need to do some clearing out of these positions, right? So we did that on SMR, we did that on Palantir, we officially did that on Nvidia there as well, and now we'll wait to see if these TQs can just get a little bit higher. The best outs we have on this trade is 52s, so a couple 47s and then a 52 to get me out of about a third of the position. So hopefully it continues to climb, but hey man, with those imbalances being dropped, we never know. My out is right now that sort of that local bottom right there. It was what, a break of 30s. So right into there. If we break that low, we're out. So quick trading right now, long at 38s. We took 10 cents to try to risk 10 cents and a lot more. So let's see if we can get going now. But with imbalances 4 minutes away, we do watch out for that. So unfortunately, I tried to load up on the futures and it just hasn't worked out. So fine, we'll be positive on it. It's a good trade, but not the greatest.
Yeah, and I don't think I take anything unless it's the other side of the imbalance. That DNB.
What is that?
It's a buyout. No.
Right. It's a buyout.
They're being bought $9.15 cash. So if it's a sell, you might be able to get a penny out of it. Which, like, there's a trade that you can make on those if you've been sitting on the offer all day, and maybe you can just get the bid or something. Oh shoot, I wanted to. Anyways, trailing stop did not get hit on Rigetti, but I'm going to get out at that high, that 1170 level. That we can see. SimSam, any of y'all in Hertz today for earnings? I'm going to suggest there probably aren't a lot of people that are in Hertz, but whether you're in it or not, we're going to cover all the earnings that come out live. I think it's only Plug Power, maybe one other name that'll be after when we're on there. But yeah, Rivian Millionaire, Pfizer is still going. All of these, it wasn't just, everyone was focused on Eli Lilly this morning. But like Pfizer, 3% on Pfizer is no small deal. It does a lot of volume. There's a lot of liquidity in this thing. And it's just holding on the highs. Merck as well. Merck, and it's rolling over now, but 6% on Merck. It almost feels like, we'll see. Give it the old 3-day rule here. How about that?
6% down?
No, 6% up.
Oh, okay.
Like these have now, like you're holding a 52-week low after a wick bottom, when everyone's thinking doom and gloom and when Trump was going to maybe lay down the law on some drug prices, and ultimately you're getting a recovery day in Pfizer and Merck, there could be like a nice little opportunity for these lows to hold and this ridiculously long downward trend that a few of these names have been in to kind of break. And Merck has its own issues, and Pfizer has their own issues as well. I think you're just looking for something short term. So with about 2 minutes to go in here, STO, thoughts on UNH. There's a question about UNH almost every single day. And I'm going to keep answering it precisely the same way that I always have. I want no part. Like I decided I didn't want to own the stock for during after the unfortunate after the murder of the CEO of the CEO of the subsidiary. And then I was like looking at the business, like I keep buying this thing off 450 and think it's a good hold and getting in and out of it. And I stopped after the shooting when there was a bad press about some of their practices. I was like, I don't want to own this thing. So I'm not in it, but I am thinking about where there could be a nice little trade off the bottom. But you know what it requires first? A bottom to actually get made and held for more than 5 minutes. The stock is just still downward trending. No part of falling knife here. I don't want any part of that. I think once it shows you it can settle out, like this stock has shown that it can barcode or, like break and do a trend and then start pulling back into a higher low. It's done that stuff in the past and joining a move as opposed to guessing where the bottom is going to be on UNH. It's an absolute disaster right now. And I want no part of it until it shows you something different. Maybe that'll be in the 300s. But the bleed still continues there. I don't think you need to catch a falling knife at all in a name like that. So about 30 seconds till the imbalances. I'm going to flip back over. Rigetti's probably just going to trail out the last of this. Yeah, there's no squeeze happening going into the close. Like it did a move, kind of pulled into 1170 there from like the 40s and the 50s, but there's no continuation on this. I guess the action's going to be after the bell when these guys actually report their numbers.
All right, guys, it's going to be a little bit of a face slapper there on the futures. Only 20 seconds to go. Let's see if we can get higher right now. I mean, we have this TQQ play. Let's get out of a play right here at 54. There it is. We get that. Let's put something at 60, and then let's go just a little bit higher to see if we can get into the 80s right now on this release that is just moments away. Yeah, nice little take there. It's too bad. Like, again, we got stopped out by 1 penny only. There it is. Yes, sir. The imbalances are now out, and we're starting to go scream to the upside right now. Intel, big buy. Nvidia, big buy. AMD, big buy. Right now, as we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There we go, man. What a trade to end the day. There goes the futures. Yes. finally, man, we'll spin that money out right there. It's a good thing we got back in on that. Notice the volume profile, and boom, the surge there. And there it goes. Nice move upside for everything, man. I wish we never got out of Nvidia as that's going up, but I didn't have, I told you, I had less than 5% from time, so no damage really there. There goes Palantir. Nice trade on that one as well. And then SMR, we'll wait for this. Obviously a big after hours name. So let's just start to tap out now. We'll see if we get an 85. We'll sit there. There's IEX. Yo, what's up, IEX? There they go again. But right now it's the market, man, and we're blasting higher. There it is, man. I think it'll be the #1 P&L name today. It is the futures, even despite getting stopped out there. We just bought right back in, and there it goes to the high side. So thank you for trusting on this play. What's up, Dr. Bologna? Right here. Is that Bologna? Bologna, what are you from? Are you Italian over there? What do you want from me? I'll look back up there, but right now I'm going to...
He made a comment to me as well. I see the comment. It was a joke about him.
Oh, about hymns? Okay. Yeah, the hymns, hopefully. That does continue to skyrocket to the upside, but honestly, guys, I mean, I have a little bigger fish to fry right now than the chat, as we are right here into TQs as it starts to go upside right now. So, you know, good trade there at the end, like I said, man, really happy, again, to make this a big stock for me. So there goes the TQQs upside, SMR working, Qs working, and Adara always working. What's up?
Keep an eye on Nvidia. Nice push to the upside. Keep an eye on chips in general here. The New York Times is reporting that the U.S. is considering a large chip sale to an Emirati AI firm called G42. Apparently, this chip deal would include hundreds of thousands of GPUs. So, New York Times reporting U.S. considering a pretty major chip sale. Keep an eye on some of these chip tickers as a result. Back to you.
Well, I mean, also there was the imbalance, and plus that on Nvidia. I mean, Nvidia is still 3 million to the upside. Intel still 4 million on the buy imbalance, and you're seeing it absolutely fly. It could break. Yeah, I'm not taking a 123 break at 352, but that is the level that we were looking for the breakout this afternoon. It just didn't happen at any point. I think it's going to be a big level for Nvidia. You got to look at a daily chart. Sorry, and it's not split adjusted, but you get through that 123. Next stop. Really think you get 135. That makes some sense. This is exactly the kind of news and sentiment that can get you a good rally, and then you remember they don't report for 2 weeks. So like it can fly freely for 2 weeks before you even have to have a report. So I think that's good for Nvidia. We've been looking for this relief rally. When you look at it from the bottom, I hesitate to use the word only, but it's really only up $45 from the low. That doesn't, you know, that actually is a lot. But
Nvidia?
Yeah, but we're at $150 at the top here, and it's not like the numbers are bad. They're still printing tons of cash, and revenue is absolutely humongous on them. So great look. Oh, the other thing should always mention a little bit more often when we talk about Nvidia, because it probably deserves more respect. I keep saying I don't necessarily buy into their model or the business, but CoreWeave is up 13.5 points today and was super strong all day long. And even as we speak, right now, it's bouncing off some of those lows. This has a chance, like this has an actual chance to make it an IPO. So all-time high, not that big of a deal, but I think it's a big deal that it's so as strong as it is when their business plan is renting out or leasing out and selling old Nvidia chips. Like it's not even the newest stuff that they're selling. But hey, the market seems to really like this stock for whatever reason. I guess it could be a breakout play today, or at some point coming soon.
We're just getting out some SMR over here at 1801. Look at the TQs, man. The futures are really starting to fly like monstrous right now. This is a very, very big trade. We got all the way back to the day's high in the futures right here. And we're long the futures right down here, man. 20,870. Nice little long there as we take out the highs. And if you are wanting to grow as a trader, you do. Hey, man, this is funny. The trade the pool ad read is exactly what I keep talking about. Every trader knows that if you want to grow, you have to risk more, right? Trade the pool is changing that, though. You pay a one-time evaluation fee just starting at $47. That's your total risk, and you get a real shot at trading up to $200,000 in company capital. You don't need a large deposit. You don't even need years of experience. There's a limited risk trading platform built for any trader who wants to grow without putting everything on the line. Just a small skin in the game, and you're now trading with real capital. Scan the Trade the Pool QR code on your screen right now to get 10% off and start your journey today. Hey, man, 10% off of anything is great. So make sure you do that with Trade the Pool. All right, I'm just trying to wrap this up, man. 355.
Paired off there.
Yeah, I see the futures are trying to come back in a little bit, but not SMR. That's a great little move there. Palantir still now $3 in the money and going higher right now into the close. So we're going to exit out of this one as well. $3 on this name. We're happy with it. Let's offer 30s and see if we can get out right now. We'll offer 22s. Forget about it. Put 22s on him. Help Sharif with his tire purchase. There it is. Nice move out there. TQs right here, 1333s. I'm going to get another piece out at 84. You know, we could hold it a little bit into the after hours, but with no earnings coming or anything like that, really no reason. Let's just empty out the clip right now and put TQQs as P&L number 1 for me. So there it goes. Nice move there, despite getting stopped out early on that. We comes right back in. And hey, man, if we didn't get stopped out, we'd have more money, but we did. So that's that play. Let's go right now. SMR 18 and change. Palantir's a good play with only 4 minutes left. That's about all she wrote, man. So, yeah, why don't you wrap it up and you got to head over there and then I'll take us into the.
Let's wrap it up with this. I didn't notice this, but First Solar didn't just rebound, didn't just V-shape recover, it blew out the top here.
Yeah.
So whatever was going on with FSLR, apparently just blindly buying the dip and having no clue. No, of course you shouldn't do. Well, I would never do that because it seemed to me, whoever was juggling around there, the book was so heavy. It's breaking out, up 11% now and absolutely flying. Could the bottom be in? Did they just trap a bunch of people short? Look at the breakout on the daily for FSLR. That looks really, really good. I think the entire group kind of stinks in a general sense, unless you get some rate cuts. But we have a lot of earnings to get through the market recap show. We'll have Michael Noss. If you have any questions for Michael that maybe you didn't get a chance to have covered, make sure you can throw them in. We'll always try to get to a couple. So, line them up. It's always like on Monday mornings, he's got prepared slides, so we know what we're going to talk about with him. But in the afternoon, there's always questions we have, and we try to save a couple for you guys. So make sure if you have anything from Michael, you just throw it in the chat about his positions or what he was talking about this morning or any of the altcoins, any of that fun stuff. I'm going to be at the desk. Let's go Rigetti, Mom Spaghetti. Should be a fun one.
Right, good luck.
And SMR. Well, I care more about SMR because I own shares, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, SMR is my baby as well. We're long at 11 and change on SMR. Maybe we'll sell some of that tomorrow. But here goes the TQs. Right now, we hodl everything. That's part of the problem. But there goes the TQs right now. Nicely done. Cooking back up to day's high. And we're along the NASDAQ. I use Pikachu. I choose you, TQQ, because I love the triple exposure there. So good move there. Uber, man, congratulations. We'll be taking one of these. Nah, I won't be anytime soon unless maybe I have that Oasis concert that's coming up. But that's in the summer, which is almost summertime. Nice move to the upside right there. $88 coming into play. Maybe a Leafs game. Nice move there for Uber, taking out pretty close to 52 and all-time highs, 52-week highs and all-time highs, ATH. Right there, we do get 52-week highs for Shopify, not all-time highs. Shopify was going nuts during COVID, but there's Shopify pulling back a little bit there to end the day. JP Morgan, we did sell some of this finally because we got to take some kind of profits basically at this price. In and around 260 during lunchtime, got out of some of that. We will not be doing any buying or selling of our own personal stuff while the show, of course, is on. That's just the way we do it. There goes the TQQs, man, oh man. Like, look at that stop out. Thought you got me, eh? You thought you got me, which you basically did, but we got right back in. Look, without taking that hit, so I just want people to see, like, this hit was about 20 cents, right? We're now back in at 37s. It's at 02s. All right, 30 seconds to go, a minute to go, sorry, right now before the bell. So, yeah, brief thoughts on Madagascar, on vacationing in Madagascar, yeah. Up Erie pages, man. Oh, hell yeah, man. I'll go there, man. Some nice sun, probably food, probably relative. New food as well. Okay, nice moving up to the upside right there. I don't know enough about Madagascar to really talk too much about it, but yeah, I would love to see that. So Erie pages, is that where you are? Is that where you're going? Nice move upside right now as the NASDAQ finishes at highs, and oh boy, did we nail that one with a... Boom, big trade there on the TQs, man. And like we said, I think I found it right here. We definitely like trading this. Shout out to Adam DeLuz as well. He asked me for what was the play, and I was like, we're going to go long the futures. So it's really nice to kick it off right there. We'll offer at the end of the day. We get out of that one as we watch SMR 2-1. Bell now rung, so I better get out of said SMR before we do get in earnings coming through there. But there it is. Nice move to the upside on that. We'll wait to see what now happens with some of these earnings plays. I'm going to punch out. Wow, there goes the TQs after hours, really blasting. Congratulations to everybody that had that nice move. All right, there's some earnings coming out here. Look at the futures, still going higher into the close. Thank you, everybody, for trusting us with some of these trades. I feel like we're doing pretty good on that front. There it goes, upside on the futures. That's $1 in the money right there. Thank you so much for watching. I got to get out of here. Busy, busy day. I'm coaching, just me and one other coach tonight, and I'll see them on the diamond, and I'll see you right here tomorrow at 8:30. For now, ciao. Over to the desk.
Thank you very much. Your market recap starts right now. We have a host of earnings. We're supposed to get Hertz first, and Archer is supposed to come out there as well. But there was a headline late in the day that pushed the chips up. You saw Nvidia make a run, SMH, along with the Nasdaq that Sean was in at the high of the day here. Right now, it was all green. Why? Because hey, tariffs go down, stroke of a pen. Although not really technically the stroke of any pen yet. But if the tariffs are coming off and going back down to 10% or 20%, depending on which side you're on, then that was exuberance for the market. But it wasn't all easy because there was a lot of selling in Dara early on in the session. You had the entire market sort of in take profit mode early on and then rallying late along with the chips. So we did have a turn, classic V-shaped recovery for the NASDAQ in tow. You're going to see the chip names in general, SMH closing up 6% today. It's a very green day unless you were looking at VIX, gold. I mean, to a certain extent, I think Bitcoin was a disappointment here today. Nat gas didn't do very well, but overall, just green everywhere. It's a lot of movers and shakers on the earnings today. Like, we're going to get some names with big short floats like Rigetti, ASTS, obviously SMR, which Sean was just discussing. But the first, I believe we're supposed to see is Archer. And I haven't seen any numbers on Archer, though there was a seller like right at the end of the day here. You see a little bit of a bottoming tail wick, but not a lot of volume coming in, so I guess we're still waiting on those numbers.
Waiting for as I can tell. Oh. That my mic is Oh no, my battery's dead.
Cool. Okay, we'll come back to me for a second as we fix Adara's mic. No, we don't have any numbers yet from Archer. We don't have any numbers from Hertz and AV Steel, another name that maybe caught me off guard. I'll tell you that. Uber making an all-time high here, breaking out. It's actually still above the $88 level. They just reported and just broke out. This is going to be a popular breakout continuation play. Like on a day where the market turns and shows all this strength, you have Uber on a good report, on top of them essentially being the next winner when it comes to robotaxi, and with 52-week high breaking out late in the session, closing at the highs, like all the things you want for strength. Heck, I can't see any reason I'm not going to favor longs tomorrow in Uber. Anything can happen in the next 12 hours or so, but yeah, I'm feeling pretty bullish about Uber here, especially the fact that we're through earnings and then you get the high break. I don't think there's a heck of a lot to be worried about here with Uber. We are also expecting Rigetti. They're a big one. If you looked at what happened with D-Wave beat on their revenue and absolutely squoze the shorts, and 23% short float on Rigetti. I'm not saying it's going to do the same thing, but you could see some fireworks if they're able to beat expectations, Adara.
Nicole Harris, thank you for the latest. Plug Power releasing much earlier than expected.
Okay.
They missed on EPS, so they're not really reacting like that. They did have a larger than expected loss per share, 21 cents versus 19 cents expected. Sales, 133.67 million versus 132.16 million expected. So they just eked out a beat, and they reaffirmed their guidance for the fiscal year, which is honestly pretty solid. Reaffirmed Q2 guidance, or not fiscal year, Q2 sales guidance between 140 million and 180 million. That is above estimates of 132.16 million. Nice look. What I'm curious about here too is now that some of these companies that have already reported had their guidance rescinded because of tariffs, or they didn't provide guidance because of tariffs. Today we had Harley-Davidson actually basically walking back some of their tariff-related guidance after the China-US talks. So I wonder if other companies are going to do that. I think it's certainly a catalyst to watch out for. That's Plug Power. Looking here for ACHR. I am not seeing it. Let's take a look here as well for our friend HTZ. Hertz, no Hertz either. So everybody hurts if you're waiting for those earnings right now, Neil. I'm going to keep looking.
I just saw some. I have to get to this in the chat here. There is actually somebody in the chat who has taken my moniker and said they're Neil Red Candle Roberts. I like that. What the best part about it is hard to tell. They're using the Simpsons avatar of me, which was when we made them the AI Simpsons. I was obviously the wrong shade, but I love it. It's a heck of a lot of fun. Neil Red Candle Roberts. I'm not always bearish. I don't think that's true. Some people say that I'm bearish. I've never shorted anything in my personal account. I've bought covered calls. That's about the most bearish thing I do. But unfortunately, Rigetti does have a red candle right now, and it's starting to sell off here. So Rigetti down now at $11. It just broke 11.50. Just broke the low of the day. They were like everything else. They had gapped up. We weren't expecting their earnings until 4:50, or actually it was 4:05 actually.
I have Archer earnings and I have Rigetti.
So we have Archer and Rigetti are both out, and first move down is RGTI. Although not a huge move at all, and much less than the expected move so far.
So I'm seeing revenue of 1.5 million. Now, I always like to clarify, sometimes the estimates we're seeing are not the ones the street goes with. But the revenue estimate I was seeing for Rigetti was 2.46 million, so does sound like a little bit lower than what we were expecting. Trying to find here earnings per share. They did say that apparently cash equivalents, and available for sale investments at 209.1 million. Yeah, there's a lot of red tape trading with this report, but it does seem like the revenue a little bit lower than the estimates I was seeing. Yeah, Archer Aviation. They have earnings. Apparently, they're on track for their piloted Midnight aircraft to be delivered here to the UAE in the summer. Their total cash position above $1 billion. Let's see what some of that revenue is. There we go. So operating expenses. Okay, they're not showing me their revenue. I'm going to have to keep going through this. But yeah, either way.
They're flying.
Great look.
And you're going to have to use that pun. What are you going to do when the stock's up 15%? 20% short float over here, that magical $10 level now back in tow. Now keep in mind, I'm going to show you guys the daily chart. If you look at the topping tail right now, you are breaking back above the most local resistance. 10 is a huge level for Archer. 950 back over here in March, and then another test that we just had locally in May was right at about 960, 970 or so. So there's a big breakout potential if it can hold on to those gains. Like you can be back into the 950 to 970 range and still be breaking out on the daily chart. So even with a pullback, the squeeze seems to be on for Archer. SMR is another one. New Scale Power is another one we're waiting on. No earnings yet. We're expecting them at about 4:15. And remember, I know we're going to have Michael on, but as names come through, if we have earnings come through, we will get them live to you, even though we're going to still have our
Rigetti,
guests.
more details.
Rigetti, more details on them. But the problem with the Rigetti is QBTS D-Wave beat expectations on revenue. Without doing that, it's not like these companies make any money whatsoever. So they're getting punished right now.
Here's the thing, Neil. They actually did post an unexpected profit.
Well, then how would they?
13 cents per share versus a loss of 6 cents per share expected. That would be a beat.
That's
Again,
adjusted.
Earnings. Yeah, potentially, but it's not showing as adjusted for Benzinga for what it's worth. But either way, 13 cents per share is what I'm seeing. That's the number the street's going with. Oh. We were expecting a loss of 6 cents per share. That's pretty decent. Sales, though, were a massive miss, as mentioned earlier, $1.47 million versus estimates of $2.55 million. So they missed by cool over $1 million. When you are a company that small, $1 million does matter. But again, unexpected profit per share, that's not a bad look. We know a lot of these quantum names have been doing a little bit better on the EPS side, so Rigetti does fit the mold with that in mind.
Well, you have to sort of keep in mind, it's nice to have a profit for them, but it's more about revenue at this particular point, because who cares if you're making money? Your market cap is $3 billion and your revenue is $10 million. So it literally doesn't matter that you're making money, because fundamentally, like, your revenue is way too, it's just, you're not making enough of it at this valuation. So you need to see, like, revenue growth is what's going to scare the shorts, not the fact that you turn a surprise profit, because the key number is market cap $3 billion, revenue 10.8. So I think that's why revenue matters a little bit more here with Rigetti. A little bit of a bounce back through 1050. It's still a 23% short float, so I don't want to call it absolutely dead. It's still somewhat of a breakout on the daily chart. The downward trend has been broken, but this is not the same thing as what we saw with D-Wave by any stretch of the imagination. Our good friend Astus, ASTS, yes, so many traders call it this, a trader I've known for a very long time, and we were joking around, and he was visiting the office the day this was going one day, and he's like, yeah, were you guys on Astus? I'm like, you call it that too? Everyone does. Well, ASTS is, I guess we're expecting them in about 5 minutes or so. It is up 5-6% with the market, but we are going to get their numbers at about, I think at about 4:15. This is another name with 26% short float. So whether it's Rigetti, ASTS in here as well, Archer, heavily shorted names on the reports tonight. That seems to be a bit of the theme. Much more exciting when they're able to beat and go up, because as traders, we're looking for that squeeze. You want the shorts to get squeezed so we can get some momentum. We'll get them in a couple of minutes here. ASTS, when it's gone, it's been absolutely spectacular. Kind of middling in the high end of the, well, in the midpoint of the range. I shouldn't say the high end of the range, but holding on to a lot of its upward trend, despite the fact that you would think stocks like this would have given up a little bit more from those highs here, Dara. So, yeah, unfortunately, I just saw, I think Archer just went back down here, so not looking very good for them. Archer Aviation starting to pull back. Now, keep in mind, as I was saying, on that daily chart, it can get to 950, and it would still be a breakout on that daily. So as profit taking comes in under 10, the question is, can you hold on to this 950 for tomorrow, or if the shorts gain some semblance of control underneath the $10 level? I think that's going to be the key for Archer.
There's another one here too. Someone in the chat mentioned GigaCloud Technology, GCT. I put the numbers for this in the chat, but they did beat on EPS, 83 cents versus 52 expected. Sales, 271.91 million versus 259.8 million expected. That's a double beat. Q2 sales, they're guiding 275 million to 305 million. That is all above the estimates of 259 million. So that is a double beat and a Q2 guidance beat, for lack of a better term, for GCT. I do want to thank as well David in the chat for donating these memberships. He donated some memberships. Let me check how many.
5.
He donated 5, so thank you very much, David. Also, I'm seeing apparently Berkshire Hathaway selling some DVA. So keep an eye on DaVita. I'm going to check if this is moving. DVA. It is, yeah, there's a little bit of a candle to the downside here for DaVita. Apparently, BRKB sold about 1.2 million shares of DaVita for an average of $147 each on May 8th as part of a pre-existing share purchase agreement. So that before the sale, they owned 34 million shares. They sold about 1.2 million shares, and that's via an SEC filing.
Okay, and there, thank you very much for that. And just going back to Rigetti for a quick second, it is actually holding on those lows. So, yeah, it might not matter that they made that surprise profit, but ASTS is out. So before we head to guest, you know what? Wow, it's not really moving here, but let's get the numbers, Adair. It's not moving like you'd expect.
That's kind of because I think they're really framing this as more of a business update than an earnings call, which explains why I couldn't find the expected move for it. So basically, they're saying they expect H2 or second half 2025 revenue opportunity is how they're putting it, but just revenue between 50 million and 75 million from early network deployments, continuing to roll out the direct-to-device broadband with AT&T, Rakuten, Verizon, Vodafone, just kind of an update of what they're trying to do right now. There's nothing huge here. They said, okay, we can look at some of these metrics. Cash position as of March 31st, 2025, 874.5 million. That is up significantly on a sequential basis.
That's a lot.
Operating expenses also up on a sequential basis. Capital expenditures also up significantly on a sequential basis. So Q1 versus Q4, we're seeing increases in all of the metrics I just named.
Well, they need to have cash because you're a $6 billion company with $5 million in revenue.
That's crazy.
Less than that. So you need to be building that cash position, ASTS. And before we get to our guest, we're going to have Michael Moss coming in just a second. I got to say it, and Adair already addressed it, but who are the 5 greatest viewers of all time? David, 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 and David, because he gifted 5 memberships. And obviously, I'm not trying to single anybody out, but we love all of our viewers. What I love about it is what makes this community so great. Everyone's out here trying to help each other, trying to learn, trying to trade better, trying to invest better, swing trade, day trade, whatever it is it might be. Just open up an account to start saving for your retirement, whatever it might be. We're all just trying to learn here, and I love that community aspect of it out here, everybody. And Jay Lee, I agree with you on this one. Turns out the best short today was UVXY pre-market. Yeah, you could have just faded volatility. It makes a heck of a lot of sense. But there were a lot of great trades out there. And there's one person I know that usually is able to find something for us, and that's our Trader Talk guest, Nosbox. Welcome back, our good friend Michael Nos over there at Stats Edge, our favorite CMT. You've got the black and white look going on here. I like the gray, first of all. Love the glasses. And what a day it was. What a day.
Yeah, I'm joining you from the void today. I don't know what's going on with the setup, but we'll make do. And yeah, I just what else do you possibly ask for? Not only a massive gap up on huge news, but they tried to sell it off throughout the day, and just buyers came in and ripped it into the close. Again, just showing there is demand there. Even if you look at the futures over on Sunday night, we can go to the ES and look at that. It was the same thing, right? They opened up on the China news and sold off a little bit, and then buyers came back in. So every time it's been a relentless bid in this market on the way up, which is certainly awesome if you're long like I am. It doesn't look like they're going to give us a chance to get in, I don't think, if people are looking to buy the dip or anything like that.
Yeah, it's that kind of, it does feel like that kind of move, doesn't it? Like you look at, you just had the ES up there. I mean, you look at where the Qs are sitting at on the daily, like it's a gap so far from that 50, so the 200 period moving average, let alone the 50. You begin to wonder, like if this was the bottom, it was over 20% ago, and now we're closer to the highs, which is always a scary proposition for that money that wants to get in. But then at the same time, when we're in the bull rally, that's exactly the scenario that would take us to the top, is all that panic money chasing, Michael. So I always think that the trend is your friend. But the other side of it is, we always talk about a certain thing, which is support turning to resistance and vice versa. And if you believe that, then some of these Liberation Day, tops, in theory, could turn into support. And then that gives you a heck of a runway to the highs on a host of ETFs.
Yeah, I think, if I could paint out the best case scenario, it would be, and looking at your chart was the perfect way to do it, is a retest of the 200-day from the backside. So if we just put on a moving average, and I know you had the 200-day there, and that would be the idea. That would be, again, a perfect scenario in which we kind of didn't give the chance for people to get through the 200-day to begin with. So if we're going to test this from the backside, that would be, I think, a perfect fill, because you're right. Not only would it, have this top before the Liberation Day, there's some other action around this 490 area on the Qs. Same kind of thing for the SPY, where we have some areas, some gaps to fill. I just don't know if it's going to give us any kind of a chance, because, I'm a quant and we trade systems over at Stats Edge, but it feels anyway like this is a bit of a FOMO market, that there may be a lot of institutions that have gotten rid of or puked out of their holdings at the lows, and now they're forced to buy higher. And then also anyone who was short this market quickly had it reverse on them, and they're buying higher as well. So I think this might be one of the most hated market rallies in history, but I think we're going up from here, just because the amount of people that were caught off guard with how quickly this bear market, this 20% drawdown, has reversed.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. Like, if even the beleaguered Russell is, on the verge of breaking out as well. Like, even that's, no one's getting the rate cuts that they want, so that's been lagging some of the small caps. You said something about FOMO, and there's at least 3 or 4, and we did get the SMR numbers out there. And for everyone out there, Dara did put the numbers for SMR in the chat. It's not really flying around. But the reason I want to bring some of these high short flow names here, SMR 21%, we've seen that go. We're talking about Archer, which reported tonight, Archer Aviation with a big short float, and it's trying to go. And recently, HIMS has been on an absolute squeeze tear since earnings, and it's breaking out. There are a lot of names that, in a market with exuberance like this, and you start to look at squeezes happening on high short float names, it's almost like there's a bit of a perfect storm happening. What are your thoughts on, okay, we just talked about the stability, the NASDAQ, the SPY. But what about some of these high-flying names which are doing some impressive moves? Fundamentals might not matter here, but a host of names with over 20% short float, HIMS 34% short float, and breaking out on the daily. These are difficult chases, but this trend is undeniable in a few names, specifically HIMS.
Well, and I think so. Full disclosure, right? I own HIMS from around 40-ish. The system's got us in. But I think names like this are probably getting attacked pretty hard. A, because a lot of people are short and the market's moving higher, but B, that kind of positioning. So I kind of put myself in the seat of a large institution who is going to have to report to clients fairly soon about their holdings and why potentially they're going to underperform the market. And if you believe that this market is moving higher and you weren't able to participate in the rally, you kind of have to go over like the highest beta, kind of junkiest type of names to catch up with the market. Because if I'm going to post returns and I'm always being compared to the S&P 500, if I miss this 20% bounce or even a majority of this 20% bounce in the market, I can't go to Apple and Google and Meta in order in hopes to be able to do that catch-up trade. So we see this quite often after we have a rally, is it's led by a couple names. Like we had Netflix, doing well through all this. We had a couple of these names doing very well and holding us up. But now it feels like we have kind of the rest of the world that has to come up and kind of catch up to the market. Like you mentioned, the IWM would be one place that would be very interesting as well, because people, they need to look for beta, and they're going to start buying the things that haven't quite lifted yet and hopefully get that catch-up trade to boost their numbers. And again, there's a lot of this is pure speculation, but again, it feels like, and from talking to a lot of people, there are a lot of funds out there that, again, are under allocated. So that's almost as bad as being short, because if you go to your investors and the market ends up ripping 20-30% off its lows and you're not participating in that because you sold lower and you didn't buy back in, you have a lot of explaining to do. So it feels like they're going to go after these higher float kind of junkier names, try to push these higher as well so they get that beta exposure, so at least their returns don't look too bad versus the market.
I mean, everything you just described, does it not sound a little bit like when everyone had to chase the AI trade? Like nobody wanted to do it. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say nobody wanted to do it. I'm sure lots of people didn't feel good about doing it from the valuation standpoint and the rate at which it was going up. But you couldn't turn around and say you weren't in it. And this is even to a certain. It's not as parabolic, but it's arguably worse, because when we're just simply talking about big cap tech in the S&P. You can't say you weren't buying that to your investors. So, I mean, I like that look on IWM. My question to you would be, is there any other place that you might be looking under the hood that is setting up technically? The Russell's the first thing that came to my mind, because I know it's been lagging, and fundamentally, we're not getting the rate cuts that we want out of it, but I think that could go. Is there anything else that you have eyeballs on? And by the way, that's a great entry on HIMS at 40. That stock it's been an absolute powerhouse. But is there anything else that's on your radar specifically, you think, for that catch-up trade?
Yeah, I wish they could all work like this with HIMS. It just, the algo told me to buy it here. I thought it was a little bit overextended, but of course, right? You've just got to kind of bite your nose and listen. For me, I am personally interested in the other places that people are hating right now, and one of these mines comes to XLV, because this whole they're going to cut the price of drugs seems like that was priced in. We sold off into it, and this rallied today pretty hard, not from a gap, but actually from intraday price action. So I thought that was very interesting. The other thing that I talked about this a few times, it looks like gold might be looking to settle down a little bit after the move higher. So I've actually been, and I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, I've been buying this GDXD, which is a triple inversed gold miners ETF. So obviously trade this small when anything gets that complicated. But the idea is that if the certainty is remaining to the market, and I heard you read a chat while I was in the green room there, someone was saying one of the best trades today would have been just to short the VIX. I kind of look at this as a bit of the same play, where people were kind of buying up gold into the uncertainty and into the craziness, because where else would you put your money? Bonds weren't working, stocks weren't working, so they were going to gold. Now that stocks are working again and look interesting, I wouldn't be surprised to see some rotation out of gold and into stocks. So the reason I'm picking the gold miners to kind of pick on is that gold, the miners itself, never really got going. And you can see the kind of the breakdown we had in gold miners today. So I think it might be time to look for some of those safety trades. And if you're looking to short something, then look to short some of those safety trades while the market gets way more risk on, and you can take some of those plays as well. So yeah, I've got some gold miners short, and then I'm just looking for that switch from kind of risk off to risk on.
Yeah, one thing I absolutely love about that is that the GDX play confirms to something that I generally prefer if I have to be shorting something. If the underlying is making a lower high, GDX a lower high when gold's making the same high, you already have the embedded relative weakness going with you. So it's like if gold goes down, well, GDX should be better because it's already weaker, and I absolutely love that. But I actually, in some ways, I like the XLV call a little bit better. I've been looking at this like where to get in. And I see the price action. Now, individually, XLV did some things, but if you look at what's under the hood there, and we saw Pfizer, we saw Merck today with some really big moves back in. Like they were the only things weak when we came in this morning was Pfizer and Merck and the entire group. But the recovery was just it was impressive off the lows. Like each of these names had some of their biggest days. And the way to sort of play without having to pick one, as you said, would be to simply look at the XLV. Like I see you're actually making higher lows in this nice consolidation off the bottom. I'm not even showing you guys how bad it's been from the top. But that catch-up play, this is like the catch-up play on steroids for the XLV because everyone's been doom and gloom here. And when they got seemingly bad news, we got a bounce day, which is another one of my favorites. I know you're all about the technicals, but it can never hurt when the reaction to, in theory, the start of bad news is to get bought up.
Yeah, we talk, the whole buy the rumor, sell the news thing is a common trope on Wall Street, and it's because it works, right? I'm not one that follows the news or takes trades off the news, but if it's obviously good news and the stock goes down, then that's something to note, and vice versa. This was something that was bad news, but it seemed like it was talked about enough and rumored enough that may be baked into prices. And now that we know what's going to happen and everything that's being discussed there, it seems like this might be a place to go. And the reason for that is essentially a short covering rally. If that's what we're seeing across the board, then the only place the shorts had to hide out are in XLV, and now it seems like the only place the shorts have to hide out is UNH. That's still getting just absolutely taken to the woodshed. But you're right, you can either look at the index and then go and look at the components of it. Like you mentioned Pfizer, I like the look of Lilly here. I already own some, but I may buy some more off this really clean support it has here, around $750. But that's kind of my play, is looking at, okay, what do I think that potentially the shorts are going to have to cover next if this rally continues? Because these short covering rallies, as we've seen, are fast and furious, and that's usually a good way, for me anyway, to try to look to make some money.
Yeah, I love Eli Lilly. That's my healthcare holding. If I play anything that's not healthcare, it's going to be XLV or Eli Lilly, because I think they're just such an absolute and gigantic winner. Always so insightful when we have you on, Michael. I can't thank you enough. Morning, afternoon, and we get to go a little bit more in depth. Get to ask some questions in the morning. You always have that prepared presentation, which is fantastic. So I really appreciate you coming on twice a day for us on Mondays. And best of luck on that HIMS, because it's absolutely flying. I hope you get even more out of that trade.
Hope so.
And let's see. I'm with you. I think it's looking at bullish the way that we ended today, and looks like it's all systems go for this rally, and I hope it continues.
And I hope we're not jinxing anything by saying that, as someone who's very long things. So, yes, again, I love coming by. I love talking to you. You guys have the best audience. So it's always a good time, and I'll talk to you guys on Friday.
Thank you very much. That's Michael Noss from Stats Edge. Go check him out for sure on the old X machine. Our good friend. We'll see you on Friday, Michael. Have a good one.
Talk to you then.
Thank you, Michael.
And always fun with Michael. I mean, what can I say? He's even in HIMS, everybody. What more do you want? I love that trade. Before we get out of here, we did get SMR, and Dara, you did put the numbers in there.
Yeah, there wasn't much to put.
Bit of a nothing burger with SMR in terms of movement.
So.
It really didn't move. We got a little bit of a spike and then dropped right back into where we were at the close here. So nothing burger with SMR, unfortunately, for them. Archer is trying to creep back up after we had a little bit of a pullback. It does hold that 950 level, so looking pretty good for Archer. And, of course, disappointment with Rigetti.
Yeah, I want to say here, so the number I was seeing for SMR was distinctly different from any other estimates. That A, the number we got, and B, the estimates that I'm now seeing on Benzinga. So I'm not even going to share the number I had because it was wildly off the number we got. We got $13.4 million here for revenue for Q1. That is 214% above the estimate of 4.26 million. So they handily beat estimates. And they also grew by, and I am not joking, 871% on a year-over-year basis. So SMR, massive year-over-year growth. But there's another story, Neil, that I think might be a little bit more interesting for tomorrow that just came out. Business Insider reporting that Amazon is striking a new deal with FedEx after UPS pulled back its business. So Amazon says, that boy is mine, says goodbye to UPS and goes for FedEx here. So,
bye-bye.
Yeah, I don't know why I made Amazon the Mackay Pfeiffer here, but either way, interesting in this analogy between Monica and Brandy. But for anyone who got that reference, I don't know if it works, but either way, FedEx, potentially a nice upside watch for tomorrow. UPS, the downside, and furthermore, apparently the article is saying that the move gives Amazon a cheaper option for its growing volume, especially for some bulkier items. FedEx and Amazon have not worked together since 2019. So if this Business Insider report is true, definitely FedEx could be delivering some longs tomorrow.
Well, you cracked me up. You cracked David up in the chat, so definitely a win there. Thank you, Adair, for getting that to us. Always getting all the news, even sneaking it in right at the end. But you know what time it is, everybody? It's time for a little roll call action. And to do roll call, you got to be in the chat. To be in the chat, you have to be a subscriber. So everyone run. Well, you don't have to move. You can just hit the button. Just hit that subscribe button right now. Hit the like, too, as well. Hit the share, but make sure you hit the subscribe. Subs only chat. Give a big shout-out to Fabian. Ramin with those fantastic Studio 8 looks. To Andre on the 1s and 2s. Give a shout-out to the Midday Boys. To Sharif and Joe. Give a shout-out to my man Sean. To Obi. To Adara. Always making sure we stay informed. And give a shout-out to Bears versus Bulls, the best darn moderator in the business. And give a shout-out to yourselves, the best viewers out there on YouTube. And I'm going to give a big thank you to the market for being up so much today.
Thank you, market. I am so sorry. I'm not seeing Hertz earnings. People are saying they're out. The stock is moving. I'm not seeing the earnings. I just want to put that out there. Thank you very much to Bears vs. Bulls for everything you do. Neil, Sean, Sharif, Joe. We have Brendan. We have Fabian, Ramin, Andre. We've got God, Emperor, Almighty, Forefather Trump in the chat. We've got Harry Lou. We have KK, 14M, Alex L, Bob S, Trader, G-Man, The Piper. We've got Daryl Flinch, Marty, Flavius, Pascan, Eric, Trading Today for Tomorrow. I love that pun. Rajesh, Marie, Sebastian Ontiveros, Freddie Fulcrum, Jay Alvarez, Trey Only, Sean, Damian Tarza, The Printer, Robel, Bright Awakening, G. Delcourt, Brian Collins, Jace Fox. We've got Michael DCA, Bedston Burrell, Ed Miller, Robel again here, DC, Sarb MY, Manish, Hakuna, and Nima Amadi. Also, someone in the chat was wondering what the reference was. So there's a song in, I believe, the 90s called That Boy Is Mine.
Yes.
Featuring Brandy and Monica arguing over a man. And the man in the music video was played by Mackay Pfeiffer, who, if you have seen 8 Mile, he plays Eminem's best friend in 8 Mile. So shout out.
I can confirm it was in the 90s because I remember at like a specific track and field meet that was like my warm-up song when I was in high school. It was big at the time.
That's
and
fair.
So
it's catchy. It's really good.
There, I was taping stuff off the radio because that's how old I am. Like I used to sit there and like I'd listen to the top 10 and I would tape songs off the radio and I had a Walkman when I was.
Honestly, I did that with my iPod when I was a kid, so I can't even judge. I literally did that with my iPod when I was a kid, so good times.
That's what it's all about.
I cannot believe it is already 3:35. Time flies.
Time flies, but you know what? Tomorrow is still going to be here. We have a heck of a lot to get to tomorrow. A lot of post-earnings move, post-market reaction after this great day we had on Monday for the overall markets. We're Trader TV Live, everybody. Rest up, because we'll be back at it 8:30 tomorrow morning. See ya.